thought was that I would read the Bible.
Okay, good idea. You need Jesus in your life.
And then I would take notes.
Okay.
And
Sounds
then,
like a lot of work.
Well, I'm invested in this podcast.
Uh-huh.
And then you and I would talk through every chapter of the Bible.
Okay.
and like just see where the conversation goes. Because I think that we could learn something. Okay, I'm going to be honest.
Okay.
So you know who Mariah is?
Yes.
Okay, this was her idea.
Oh. She
And
said,
by
Doug,
read the
I want you to
Bible-
learn the Bible.
And by read the Bible, what I mean is I found Cliff Notes.
Okay. Wouldn't it have been?
And I
I'm
haven't
not-
read them yet.
Okay. Awesome. So, wouldn't it have been better, or maybe we do this also, but wouldn't it have been better to read the Quran or the Torah or something
So-
that, like, you know what I'm
okay.
saying?
Here's my thought. And I'm being serious when I say that. This is
Okay.
no shtick.
Okay.
Okay. My thought is, for bonus content, we do, like, every once in a while we'll do Dear Flabby, or we'll do a regular show, or we'll do a patron show, or
Yeah.
confessions, or D&D, or
Yeah. What other
bracket
stupid
show.
ideas we come up with?
Right. So all this is just another stupid idea. But
Right.
in the meantime, like, I'm expecting us to get through 3 chapters of Genesis tonight.
Okay. Good. That'll be good.
Okay. I don't know if you know this or not, but there are 50 chapters in Genesis.
Nope. Didn't know that.
Okay. So if we do 3 chapters per episode, we can get through the first book in no time flat.
How
But
many books are in the Bible?
the Bible is just one book. It's not like it's Harry Potter. Well, are you counting the Old Testament? I digress.
I don't know what I'm counting. Okay, after Genesis, what happens?
Well, I'm not going to spoil it for everybody.
This is a tale as old as time.
Okay,
right.
so what I would appreciate
Uh-huh.
is if you give this a good old fashioned college try,
Okay.
or at least a journeyman's try.
Okay.
I know you didn't go to college, so
Right. Okay. I can most definitely do that, and then it'll be interesting because I've never actually read the Bible. I just
right. And
I
so
got the gist of it.
here's what I think.
Okay.
I would imagine that our sleuthing ability is going to allow us to probably poke some holes into some of these suggestions.
After all these years, you think we're the ones that are
I
gonna
say-
crack the case?
Yeah, we're the Nicolas Cage of the Bible.
Okay. Which one of us is Adam and which one's Steve? That's all I need to know.
Okay. So I guess we'll just start with Genesis chapter 1.
Sounds good.
This is already a stupid idea.
Can you tell me if you ran any of this through AI?
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, which was formless and void. Okay, so what do you make of that? Okay.
Okay.
Like,
So
how-
now
I don't-
here's my. Go ahead.
No, you go first.
So the problem is that if you start a book saying, okay, there was nothing, and then something, God created something, heaven, and something, earth. If you've never defined any of those terms, how do the people who are reading this understand you? Where are we starting from? You have to understand what God is, right? You have to understand what heaven and earth are, right?
What?
So if
Yeah,
there was
we're-
nothing before Genesis,
We're probably not going to crack this code. You're right.
if there was nothing before Genesis, how and somebody's picking this up, okay, God created heaven and earth. What's God? Okay, what's heaven? What's earth? You know,
Well,
like,
Okay, that's the first bullet point in
Right.
Genesis chapter 1.
right. Define your terms. That's what I'm asking for.
The book of Genesis goes on to explain what all of that means.
Okay, good. I didn't know that. That's what I'm asking you.
Okay, so when I say that the Bible explains it,
Yeah.
it's not like explains in a way where you're going to go, oh, I get it.
Oh God, now I understand.
I'll say the Bible addresses it. How's that?
Okay. Perfect.
God created light and separated it from darkness, naming the light day and the darkness night. This
Okay.
constituted the first day.
Okay. So there was no light and there was no dark. That doesn't even make any sense. Isn't that a hole right there? If it's not light, it's dark. If it's not dark, it's light.
No,
Right? No?
He
How can
created
you have-
light.
How could Okay. But then what do you have before that?
And then he went, that's called day.
Day. We're calling this one day. Write that down.
Who am I talking to?
Yeah, I haven't created anybody else yet.
Okay. I have a feeling.
Uh-huh.
Okay, but do you have any preconceived notions on the Bible? I mean, you already said you haven't read any of it.
Uh-huh.
But
What?
like in my mind, the Bible was a way it was like mythology, just a way to explain why things are the way they are.
Sure. I think what it was stories that were handed down that people couldn't explain, and just they compiled it all, and somebody said, well, this is probably the word of God. I really don't know.
So I don't have an issue with people who follow the word of the Bible,
Okay.
except for all the stupid bullshit in there. But the thing that I have a problem with is people who take it at its word. Like, no. He was up there and he went day, night.
So if you're going to follow, this is where I kind of, I guess I don't know. So if you're going to follow this book, but you're only going to follow the parts that like, are convenient for you today, like what's the point of following the book then? If you're going to follow this book and you've decided that this is it, then yes, God said day. You have to believe that.
So I think there's two trains of thought. One is you take the Bible at face value. What it says happen.
Yep.
And then the other train of thought is they are supposed to be lessons and like mythology, basically.
Yeah.
So there was a Jesus and he did fuck a whore. Like it wasn't Mary Magdalene a whore or whatever? Magdalene?
I don't think Mag Lagoon. No, it's Mag Lagoon. So
No,
So
but
I don't think he fucked her though. That's the whole story.
she was a
right?
whore.
Right. No, but Jesus didn't fuck her.
Yes, he did.
Are you sure?
Not Holy Mother Mary of Christ. I'm talking about his whore friend Mary Magdalene.
Isn't Mary the one that had the baby?
No, that's Jesus. We'll find out later. Let's not jump ahead of ourselves.
So then who's Mary? I thought Mary was Jesus's mom.
I think there's two Marys.
So what about the Holy Trinity? So there's three Marys?
No, Barry.
I'm so confused.
Okay. So do I jump out of my document and figure out if there's two Marys?
I don't know. If the story is telling us about Mary and there's two different Marys, and then we find out this is all a dream, I'm going to be kind of pissed off. Like none of this
Okay.
actually happened.
Mary Magdalene.
Okay.
She was present at the tomb, the first person to whom Jesus appeared after his resurrection, and the first to preach the good news of that miracle. Yeah, so it's not, there's two Marys. Holy Mary, Mother of God, and Mary the whore.
Okay. So the whore isn't Jesus's mom?
No.
Who's Jesus's mom then?
Holy Mary, Mother of God.
I'm so confused. All right, go ahead. I'm super confused.
Okay, there's two girls named Mary.
Okay.
One was artificially inseminated by God.
Okay. With a cattle prod.
And the other one was a whore named Mary Magdalene.
Got it. Who was just like a friend, just kind of hanging around Jesus.
Like friends with benefits.
Swinging off his nuts. All right.
I don't know if I'm accurate in what I'm saying?
It's sure. We'll take it at face value.
Is Mary
Jesus'
mom the same as Mary Magdalene? Because the answer should be no. Early Western Christianity identified this Mary and Mary Magdalene as the same person. And while most biblical scholars now recognize them as separate individuals, there are still many who hold the more traditional view that they are the same. So nobody fucking knows.
So his mom is a whore. So did he? Okay, it's kind of important because if he had sex with her, it changes things, right?
Okay. Who are the three Marys in the Bible? Las Tres Marias. The three Marys are the Virgin Mary, Mary Magdalene, and Mary of Cleophas.
Okay. Is that a city?
No. But you just asked if there were three Marys, the Holy Trinity, and it turns out there are. Like, you know more about the Bible than you thought.
Perfect.
Okay, like, see, and this is why I wanted to do this, because we have a lot to learn. And so far, all we got is day and night.
Right. And we got three Marys out of that. We're good.
Okay, so that was the first day. It took him all fucking day to come up with the words day and night. And then he took a break.
Right.
I bet God was a union member.
God, I would hate to be God's union steward. You just leave me alone. Just do your work, man.
On the second day, God created the firmament, which he called sky, separating the waters above it from the waters below.
Oh, so this is
so much.
What?
That explains so much.
So this is where they get the idea of the flat Earth.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, that's what the firmament is. What they always talk about for the flat Earth: the separation of land and water, or sky, or whatever you just said. They call it the firmament. So I think this is where the idea of flat Earth comes from.
Okay. So in the first book of the Bible, in the first paragraph,
3 lines in,
that's as far as they get, and they're like, "Yep, Earth, flat Earth."
Right? They read that and they're like, "Day, night, Earth flat."
9/11.
This Bible shit's pretty easy. Yeah. When does the Bible get to 9/11?
Okay, the firmament. I've never heard that word before. In biblical cosmology, that's like makeup, right?
Yes. Whoever did Jesus's makeup.
Oh. In biblical cosmology, the firmament is a vast solid dome created by God on the second day of creation, which divides primal waters. That's waters the black people swim in.
The African black people, though, the primal waters.
Oh, so it's right in the Bible that there's a fucking dome.
Right, yeah, flat Earth. That's what I'm saying.
So how can you believe in the Bible and not believe in flat Earth?
I don't know. I don't know how do you believe in any of this and not believe flat? I mean, he's telling you, I created a dome, I created night and day, Adam and Steve. I don't know.
And I did not have sexual intercourse with my mother.
All right. What do we got next?
So no, I'm being serious. I'm kind of stuck on this.
Okay.
How can you believe in the Bible and not believe in flat Earth?
Isn't it just what you said? Like they take this part of it is, well, you can't take it literally. But he said,
but this guy builds a fucking boat that holds 16 billion fucking animals, and they come from all over the fucking world.
Right.
Like little bitty fucking fruit flies fly from Africa to wherever the fucking boat's parked.
Right.
And they wait in line at the dock for him to fucking check everybody in. That you believe?
Make sure we got everybody. It's like a nightclub. No, you're not on the list. Our male to female ratio is off.
Sorry, we've already got 2 black widows, buddy. You're so stupid. This book is stupid.
So the firmament, the definition of the firmament is literally the dome, right? That
right.
covers the earth. Right. So doesn't this just destroy all the arguments against the flat Earth? The Earth is definitely flat now. I believe it. I didn't before, but I do now.
Okay, so no, so of course I'm not going to take that same path. But what I would say is, if somebody starts talking about Jesus,
Yes.
my next question is going to be, do you believe the Earth is flat?
Yeah.
And if they say no, then I'm going to say, you're fucking stupid.
It's in the Bible.
You can't believe all this other shit and not this. I have a feeling that we're going to have a lot of these conversations.
Probably. I'm okay with that. I want to learn more about the Bible.
On the third day, God gathered the waters under the sky into one place, and dry land appeared. He called the dry land earth and the waters seas. God also created vegetation on this day.
Like all of it?
Okay, so the first day, the only thing he could do is name the shit. The second, the third day, fuck. Okay, I'm gonna.
Day one is day, night, firmament.
No, firmament was day 2.
Oh, so firmament took a whole day by itself. Got
And
it.
then on the third day, God gathered.
Broccoli.
He gathered all the waters under the sky into one place, and then dry land appeared.
What? Okay. So there was originally one ocean.
According to this book, yes.
Okay. All right. One ocean, one land mass. Where did he put the black people? Does it say that?
Okay. On the fourth day, God created lights in the firmament of the sky to separate the day from the night and to serve as signs for the seasons, days, and years. He created the sun to rule the day and the moon to rule the night, as well as the stars.
Oh, wait. So the sun rules the day, the moon rules the night. Doesn't it go on later in the Bible to say that you're not supposed to have any false idols? Right after he created these 2 false idols? If somebody rules you, that's right. Poking holes all over the place.
Busting this wide open.
Am I wrong about that?
Well, I don't know. We haven't read that far ahead in the Bible.
Okay. Which version is this the King James version?
I don't know.
All right.
Fuck, don't ask me too many questions.
I think George Bush should do a version of the Bible. Have a translation of the Bible called the George Bush Bible.
On the fifth day, God created the creatures of the sea and birds to fill the sky.
All right. That's day 5. What about day 4?
On the fourth day, God created lights in the firmament of the sky to separate.
Sorry, missed that part. Go ahead. Sorry. More firmament talk. Got it.
On the sixth day, God created all the creatures that live on the land, including livestock, wild animals, and human beings. He created mankind in his image, male and female, and gave them dominion over all the earth.
Oh, that's important, right? That line is important. That line is I've heard lots of talk about dominion over the earth where people are
Where the fuck are you hanging out that you're hearing this shit?
I read a lot of stuff, man. So people use I didn't know why or where in the Bible it justified this, but the idea is that if you're a Christian, you were given dominion over the earth so that if you tear down the rainforest, it doesn't matter because those are your rainforests and you need those resources or whatever it is that you're doing to the earth. If you pollute the environment, it's kind of irrelevant. It's yours. You can do whatever you want.
Okay, what's dominion mean?
Control over.
Okay. Now I can piece together what you were saying previously.
Awesome.
God saw all that he had made and declared it to be very good.
That was day 7. That is hard. I'm going to take a day off and just reflect on what I've done.
God blessed the creatures of the sea and the sky and the humans, telling them to be fruitful and multiply.
Got it.
Okay, is that the part where he's against gay sex?
No, that's the part where is it the Catholics that took that shit serious and they just fuck and fuck and fuck and like they don't believe in birth control because God said be
Yeah.
fruitful and multiply. Like
Yeah.
I think we're starting to put together a picture of where these beliefs are coming from.
You think? Right, but
I think it might be the Bible.
if he says tell them to be fruitful and multiply,
Yeah.
because two gays can't make a baby,
Right. But
I'm going to say that this is where homophobia started.
I don't think so. I think there's specific lines about like if you're gay, you get beat or something. I don't know. I don't know, man. If a man lays with another man or whatever, you know what I mean?
So just do it doggy. Like, don't lay down.
You don't have to lay down.
Evening came, and then morning, the end of the 6th day. The chapter ends before the 7th day begins. All right.
So what does that mean? What chapter? Just
Chapter
chapter of
one.
the book? Oh.
Yeah.
That was short.
Well, I don't know how much we're going to get through, man. I'm fucking working on it.
I didn't know. I'm just,
Ready?
Yeah.
After the heavens and the earth were fully formed on the 7th day, God ended his work and rested, sanctifying this day as a day of rest.
Okay.
That's why you get double time on Sundays.
Because God rested. All right.
I wish he would have taken like Wednesday off.
I wish he would have taken a 3-day weekend. Every weekend is a 3-day weekend because God rested.
Was it Henry Ford that came up with the 40-hour work week?
Was it? It was the unions, right? It might have been around that time, right?
No,
I thought it was a union. That was a union thing.
I don't think so. I think it was Henry Ford.
Look it up.
I'm on a different window.
Window. Just fucking open a window. Who came up with the 40-hour work week? I bet it was
Why can't you ever? Why do I have to do all the Googling?
because you're better at it than I am.
Thank you. Okay. Henry Ford became one of the first employers to adopt a 5-day, 40-hour work week at his Ford Motor Company plants in 1926. He was not just responding to pressure from the labor movement, though, because he saw employment as a way to grow the middle class, his customer base.
I don't. So they're painting Henry Ford as the good guy here.
He was the good guy.
No, he wasn't.
He was.
No.
He invented the assembly line.
Oh. I guess not all heroes wear capes.
No, like, okay, if it wasn't for Henry Ford, we wouldn't have the abilities that we have now where we can just take mindless fucking drones, throw their name on their chest, and say, you do these 3 steps over and over again. Like, I don't understand what the problem is.
Right. We got to grow the middle class by making these jobs so that anybody can do it so we don't have to pay them very much. Perfect.
Yes. Like,
I'm with you.
if you want to pivot from the Bible and talk about best manufacturing practices, I'd be more than happy to.
I don't know about best manufacturing practices, but there is definitely a gap between what's the best manufacturing practices for the manufacturer and for the workers. Those are 2 totally different things.
No. Have you ever worked in a place that relied heavily on tribal knowledge?
Yes.
Okay. When you started at that place, you were lost, right?
Yes.
Okay. And it took you struggling to get to a point where you felt comfortable because I'm assuming with your personality, you didn't have a lot of people trying to teach you anything.
I mean, that's not true, but so.
I mean, I've worked with you.
So I agree with you up to a point. I think, first of all, I think struggle is good when you're learning. Second of all, tribal knowledge is there for a reason.
No, tribal knowledge is the devil.
Right. That, like I said, we can argue about best manufacturing practices for the manufacturer or for the worker. They're 2 different things. They overlap sometimes, but they're not the same thing.
They are. You're just stupid and short-sighted and small-minded.
How am I stupid and short-sighted if you take a manufacturer and you say we're the number one thing that we want is to drive down our labor costs or our costs.
No.
We want to drive down our costs.
No.
Is that not true?
No, the number one thing that we want is employee engagement. We want people to be happy.
So you're just lying. Now I understand.
Of course, you want to drive down your fucking costs.
Right. So if I'm a cost,
That way,
I
there's
want
more
to drive
profit
down
sharing.
oh Jesus Christ!
Well, you're fucking stupid. Okay, so
How is it stupid to not want to have my wage driven down?
No labor.
Oh, I need to look at it differently. That's what you're saying.
I don't want your wage driven down. I want you to produce more faster at the same rate.
So you want to drive down my wage without me knowing that you're driving down my wage because I'm stupid?
No, I want to make you more effective.
To who?
To my bottom fucking dollar. Like,
right. We're saying the same thing. You're just putting a spin on it. It's all.
no, you're okay. Like, you are actually suggesting that you think the right thing to do is not teach anybody anything, have them learn on their own, have everybody do it their own way so there's no consistency in the product, and make sure that people believe that knowledge is power instead of just producing a good product repeatedly.
Can we rewind the tape to where I said any of that?
No, but that's what you're suggesting.
I did I make any suggestions? The only suggestion I made was that the goals of the labor and the goals of the manufacturer don't always align. That's the only suggestion that I made.
The goals of the labor doesn't align when they join a fucking union and they rise up against their employer who has been nice enough to give them fucking livelihood.
Right.
Genesis revisits the creation of man, stating that man was formed from the dust of the ground and God breathed life into him.
Okay, so we came from dust. God breathed into our mouths and we're alive. Got it?
God placed the man in a garden in Eden, which was filled with all kinds of beautiful plants and trees, including the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil.
Okay. So far, so good. Where does it say where Eden is? Like, does it give directions?
No. Okay. But I think that they think that it's in like Mesopotamia or something. Does that sound right?
Is that in Mexico? Mesopotamia, Mexico.
Okay, so I know I've read something where they've claimed to have found the Garden of Eden.
Okay.
And so it's in like Mesopotamia, maybe? Is that a place?
Is that Egypt?
I think so.
How does that make any sense to you at all? Like, I'm going to start a garden. I'm going to put it in Egypt. Does that make sense?
Okay. The location of Eden is described in the book of Genesis as the source of 4 tributaries. Various suggestions have been made for its location at the head of the Persian Gulf, blah, 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 southern Mesopotamia. So I was close.
Yeah.
Isn't that what I said? Mesopotamia?
Yes.
Okay, so that it looks like it's where Turkey meets Iraq meets whatever country is cut off here. What's near Iraq and Turkey?
Iran?
Okay.
But that sounds like a terrible place. Why would you, if you were God, why would you put like the Garden of Eden right in the middle of like this shithole? I don't understand.
I mean, I don't think he put it in Baghdad. Like,
let's put it in the middle of Detroit, downtown. Where can we put the Garden of Eden? I don't know. Detroit sounds cool.
They've got shitty water. A river flowed from Eden to water the garden, and from there it divided into 4 main rivers. Okay, so that right there is the line that they said, it's in Turkey.
4 rivers, that's what we got. All right. So you're telling me that the Bible...
I'm not telling you anything.
No, hold on. I'm asking. So according to the Bible, the Garden of Eden isn't even in America?
Right.
Whatever.
Oh, okay.
I don't believe that for a minute. Does it say that Jesus is white?
God placed the man in the garden to work and take care of it, and commanded the man that he could eat from any tree in the garden except for the tree of knowledge of good and evil, for eating from this tree would cause him to die.
Wait. So that tree is going to give me knowledge of good and evil, but I can't go by that tree. That's what...
Right.
God's kind of an ass. All right.
Okay. Now I want you to close your eyes
Okay.
and I want you to envision that you are God.
Okay.
All right. So you just spent 6 days, naming shit or
Yeah.
whatever you did.
Right.
And then you
Right.
took the 7th day off.
Yep.
And now you start like, okay, you pick up dust and you're like, boom, here's a man.
Here's a guy. All right.
Okay. Why would you put him? Okay. One, if you're all knowing,
Yeah.
you already know what's going to happen if you add temptation.
Right.
Okay. So does that right there make God fallible?
No.
No,
I don't think so. Because I think there's a mixture of like, just because you're all knowing, you are still giving your creation free will. Right? Just because
But-
you know what's going to happen.
No, okay. When Dale Earnhardt died, they said that God needed a driver. That means
Okay.
that God took Dale Earnhardt from us.
Why would God need a driver? And why would it need to be Dale Earnhardt? What's he going to be late for? Why is he got to go so fast? That doesn't even make any sense. You would think that God would want the safest drive. Like that's stupid. That's a stupid idea.
Like who would you pick then? Who would you pick for God's driver if not Dale Earnhardt?
I don't know, man. You would think that if you're God, shouldn't you be flying a private plane? I mean, why are you Why are you in the back of somebody else's car? I'm God. I'm going to take a taxi. That seems so stupid. That seems like poor person shit. Do you think God lives in a trailer too?
No, to have Dale Earnhardt as your personal driver?
Why do you need a personal drive?
Because I'm God, bitch.
Whatever appointment you need to go to, if you're God, wherever you are, that's where the people need to be for your appointment. They come to you. You don't need to drive anywhere. I'm fucking God. You're going to do a prostate exam, you come to me.
There's so many other people like that I would rather have drive me around than Dale Earnhardt.
Dale Earnhardt.
Like with his stupid mustache. It's stupid. I'm glad he's dead.
Do you think Dale Earnhardt hates Muslims? And then he gets to heaven, he's like, "Oh, you're not white."
Oh, I want to go back to my original point. I
Okay.
do believe that this proves that God isn't infallible. Okay.
I disagree with you, but I don't know how to articulate it, right? So if I create something and I know what's going to happen, but the plan isn't for me to change what's going to happen. The plan is for me to give you free will, right?
There is no plan. It's not like nowhere in day 1 through 6 did it say God made blueprints. He was just flying off the fucking seat of his pants.
Where did it say he's all knowing?
I guess that's just something I heard. I don't know. Maybe.
Okay.
Seeing that the man was alone, God decided to make a suitable helper for him. He caused the man to fall into a deep sleep, took one of his ribs, and created a woman.
That is awesome. Created a suitable helper. I think I like the Bible. I'm back in on the Bible.
Yeah, like this weekend, I'm going to be in the backyard with a wheelbarrow, like,
You're not being a very suitable helper.
The man recognized the woman as part of himself and named her woman because she was taken out of man.
Awesome. I love it. I love all of this.
Are you gonna be able to retain any of this?
Yeah. God created woman from man's work. He created man, and then he noticed that he was alone, and then he said, "You need a partner, a helper," or whatever he said. give me your rib, and I'll make you someone. Took his rib. So, did he give him his rib back, or did he grow his rib into woman, or did he just take a piece? Do you understand what I'm saying?
took one of his ribs. So
Okay. So woman is literally just grown from man's rib,
yes.
like in a petri dish. That's awesome. Like he breathed life into man and then just grew woman in a petri dish. That's great. I like all this.
What do you think the significance is of taking one of the ribs?
I don't know. I don't. I really don't know. I mean, I think it has to do with like they wanted to take something that like, okay, when you look at a rotting animal, think about back in the day. You look at a rotting animal, you see its fucking rib cages, right? So those bones are like symbolic of that animal. But I can't like God took Adam's arm. Well, then why does Adam still have an arm? You can't look at Adam and see that he's missing a rib, so it kind of fits. You understand what I'm saying?
No. So, okay.
No, you don't understand, or no, I'm wrong.
No, I don't. Yes, on both. Yes, I understand. No, you're wrong, or something.
All I wanted was for you to understand.
Okay. The chapter concludes by stating that a man leaves his father and mother and is united to his wife, and they become one flesh. Both the man and his wife were naked, and they felt no shame.
So this is where I think they start to make the argument for no gay marriage, right?
I don't know.
Right. Read the first thing you said again.
The chapter concludes by stating that a man leaves his father and mother and is united to his wife.
Right.
And they become one flesh.
Right.
Both the man and his wife were naked, and they felt no shame.
Right. So if you are a Christian, how do you read that and say, yeah, gay marriage is fine? Like,
yeah, but if you're
marriage
a Christian,
is
you think the earth is flat. Like, who gives a fuck if there's people butt fucking?
No,
when
I'm not
there's
asking
a dome?
you. I'm not asking you who gives a fuck. I'm not defending any position. I'm just telling you where these positions come from. Jesus, you get all. Oh my God. I make the stupidest point, and then I come to this point, and then you feel like you have to defend this point, like I'm hurting your feelings by saying gay marriage is against the Bible.
No, it's not. Sorry.
It's okay.
That was from down deep. Genesis chapter 3. A crafty serpent, which was more cunning than any other creatures God had made, tricked the woman into eating the fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, even though God had forbidden it. The woman saw the fruit as desirable for gaining wisdom, so she took some and ate it, then gave some to her husband who was with her, and he ate it too.
So,
okay, like here's where I have a problem. All right.
Okay.
So you're Adam.
Yeah.
This big fucking spirit put you to sleep in the dirt, right? And he's like, you see all this shit? I made this yesterday. Like, you weren't here yesterday. You know how you woke up and you had no memories because I just made you. You that dirt on the ground, that was you, bitch. Like, I made all of this. You look lonely. And then he fucking rips out one of his ribs, Mortal Kombat style, and it turns that into a fucking tits and puss. And he's like, here, I got you a fucking friend, and you're both naked. Now just fuck. That's all you have to do.
You're both naked.
Just fuck. That's
Right.
it. Whatever you do, don't eat from that tree.
Right.
Now, if you had this all-powerful being who ripped one of your fucking ribs out and made a person out of it for you to have sex with, which seems like it's just a long way to get to masturbation. But you wouldn't cross that. You wouldn't be like, well, should we try it? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Really? So you're telling me that, like, all the things that you've ever known as far as right and wrong, like your whole life, you've never done anything wrong that you knew you shouldn't do. You've never done that.
Not when it was God telling me not to do it.
How do you know it wasn't?
Because my mom ain't God. So, okay, you're telling me that when I was a kid and I went out and turned the water spigot on when I was told explicitly not to, is the same thing as this person double-crossing God.
Yes. How
All
how
right.
is it different? How is it different? He
Because
had
my mom
no.
can't rip one of my fucking ribs out and make a person out of it.
You'd. He has no memories. It's not like he has any sort of like relation to the past. Like if I disobey God, this happens, or you know what I'm saying? Like there's no.
I
He
don't know
didn't
why you're
learn
always taking Adam's side.
You're just asking how it would happen, and then you proceed to tell me how you've done things wrong. You know how it happens. You just want to do things. You want to do what you want to do, even though you know you're not supposed to.
No.
Oh, okay.
Upon eating the fruit, their eyes were opened and they realized they were naked. They sewed fig leaves together to cover themselves because they felt shame, I guess.
Yep. So
Yep.
there was no shame. So okay, but it doesn't say anything about like why God created a serpent that would do something like this. Why did God create that?
You can't play both sides of the fence.
I can play whatever side I want.
Okay.
What side am I playing? I'm just asking questions here.
Is God infallible?
I would say yes.
Really?
I don't know.
Like-
Why not?
Okay, so
Where's the fault? Where is the
he
whatever-
made a serpent. He made an evil fucking a crafty serpent that
So
was cunning.
if I create something, let's say I'm God. I create something and I give that something free will to do whatever it wants to do. Is that a fault of is that me? Is that did I do something? Whatever the fucking you say infallible. I don't know what the other word is. Am I fallible?
Oh, yeah, okay. Infallible means you can do no wrong, correct?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
If you make an evil serpent,
Yeah. But no, you didn't make an evil serpent. You made a serpent and gave him free will. Right?
no.
No?
No.
Oh, okay. Moving on then. So I don't understand no.
It's the opposite of yes. It's like
Oh.
yes, except the opposite of that.
I don't so the serpent didn't have free will? God created an evil serpent?
Okay. You know what a serpent is? Have you ever seen a nice serpent? Anywhere, ever. Have you ever seen a nice serpent?
What?
Yes or no?
No, I don't know that I've ever seen a serpent.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because they're fucking evil. They're,
No. You're falling for the propaganda. They want you to believe that serpents are evil.
what is a serpent? Okay, a slurpant is
Right.
a sly or treacherous person, especially one who exploits a position of trust in order to betray it. By definition, a serpent is evil.
But there's no. Okay, so then it wasn't a snake?
Or a large snake.
Okay. I think one might have came into being before the other. So do you not understand what I'm saying? If
Nope.
God gives the snake free will, how is God at fault? when-
Okay, so you're interpreting this to mean that it was the snake that tricked him into eating the fruit.
Yes. How am I
Okay, so-
interpreting? That's what it says.
So the snake can talk? The snake has vocal cords?
I don't
does
know.
Does it just kind of like go,
Look at this. Look at this fruit. I wasn't there.
Oh, no. You can't take as strong a stance on everything as you have. And then on this one say, I wasn't there. Fuck, I don't know.
So you're asking me if the snake had vocal cords. I don't think the snake had vocal cords, no.
Okay, so then don't you think that God is infallible if he created two people who get outsmarted by something that can only go, well, we better eat this.
Did you hear that hissing? I think we should eat that. No, I think that you're wrong. I think that it all comes down to free will. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, if you and your wife had a kid, let's say that you're both getting on in age,
Yep.
and you decide to have one more kid, and it comes out retarded. Would you feel like you felt like you failed?
No,
Like-
of course not.
You would like if they pulled out a little cross-eyed baby, wouldn't you go, "I'm so fallible"?
No, I don't know that would ever cross my mind. No, of course not.
Look at your wife and go, "God, your genes suck."
So,
I
I don't-
disagree.
But I don't understand. I'm not even trying to argue with you. I just don't understand your position. Is there no such thing as free will?
Okay. Let's say that I take you don't have a dog, right?
Die.
Okay. Do you have a cat?
Nope.
Okay. Let's say I take your cat.
Okay.
So you notice how I was trying to steer clear from making jokes about your dog?
Yes.
Like I'll talk about your kids and your wife.
Yep.
But-
I understand.
Okay. So let's say I take your cat.
Yep.
And I put it in a room.
Okay.
And in that room, I set a trap that if the cat steps on it,
Yep.
a cinder block will fall on the cat.
Okay.
And then I say, well, like, you're like, hey, what happened to my cat? Fucking cinder block fell on it. Why?
Yeah.
Well, I put it in this room and there was a trap over in the corner, but I gave it free will. I didn't know that that's what it was going to do. Your response would be, you knew that cat would eventually trip that wire and get killed.
Right. So did you communicate to the cat in some way that if you step on this, bad things will happen?
Yes.
How?
I said, hey, if you step on this, bad things will happen.
Right. So then, yeah, you're you're at fault because cats don't speak English, stupid. Right? Like God communicated very clearly, stay away from this tree. Right?
Okay, if I take your child,
Yeah.
you have a child that was born yesterday.
Yeah.
And I put it in a room with the same trap.
Mhm.
And I tell your child, don't hit that.
Yeah.
Because it'll smash you.
Right.
Am I still at fault?
No.
Okay.
So, I mean, either you believe in free will or you don't, I guess. But I mean, when you reduce it down to children, maybe it changes it because children are stupid. But
No. I understand what you're saying about free will, but I'm also saying that he fucked up from the very beginning.
how?
Because if God knows everything, he knew that they were going to eat the fruit.
Yes.
So he already knew it. He went through all that first 6 days of work
Yes.
knowing what was going to happen on the 8th day.
Yes.
That means that he's fallible.
So,
Okay.
If you believe that God is all knowing, then that also has to mean that there is no free will, right?
No.
So then,
God
then
knows the choices you're going to make before you do.
right? So
Which means
then how is that fallible? He's allowing the goal is to give you free will.
No, listen. Okay. Are you ever going to get another dog?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Would you buy a $10,000 or whatever, a $1,000 dog?
Uh-huh.
If you knew, like if I say, listen, if you buy another dog,
Uh-huh.
I'm coming over in 8 days and killing it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I will make it my life's work to kill that fucking dog.
Okay.
And then you buy the dog and 8 days later I kill it and I'm like, told you. Like, that's your fault. You made me do it. I told you what I was going to do.
That's my fault.
My bad.
I don't understand the analogy that you're making. Are you God in this scenario or are you Adam in this scenario?
God. Like,
So
no,
you're
Adam. No. No, I just killed your dog. I'm neither one. You're God in this scenario.
So you killed God's dog just to prove a point, or I don't understand. I'm struggling to understand the point you're trying to make.
Okay. When God, on the first day, when he went, day,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay,
Uh-huh.
he already knew that on the 8th day or whatever day it was,
Yeah.
that these people that he created were going to betray him. He
Right.
knew it. It's not that he just created two beings with free will and said, well, let's see what happens. He
Right.
already knew what was going to happen.
Agreed.
That's the original sin. That's
What's
what
the
we're
original sin? Knowing what's going to happen?
eating the apple.
Okay, yes.
You
I'm
dummy.
trying to understand where that. I agree with you, but how does that lead you to believe that God is not infallible? Where's the fault?
Infallible means that you make no mistakes.
What mistakes did he make?
He
knew-
created two beings that went against his directions.
How? Okay, how is that a mistake?
Because he knew it was going to happen. What's so fucking hard to understand?
No. I know something's going to happen. Okay, it happens. That doesn't mean that it was a mistake that it happened.
You're the one that created it. Yes, it does. If
you
know,
created it and you know it's going to happen this way, where is the mistake? I'm asking you, where is the mistake? What mistake did God make?
he created two faulty models. Like
He gave them free will. That's not
He did.
faulty. That's in the wiring.
he already knew it was going to happen. What's the fucking point of the whole exercise if you know it's going to fail?
So now you're asking a different question. You're saying he's not infallible, and then you're wrong about that, and then you move to what's the point of it? Those are two completely different things.
No, it's the same thing. What's the point of doing an exercise if you know it's going to fail? Unless you don't know. And if you don't know, that means that you are not without fault.
Who said this was an exercise? Who said this was an exercise?
I don't mean that like jumping jacks. I just use
Neither
that
do
word
I.
to describe the whole creation of the earth and the waters and the dome and Adam and Eve and the dust and the serpents.
You're pretending like you understand.
I'm not pretending shit.
Right. You're pretending like you understand the point of any of this and saying that because you understand the point, that must mean that God made a mistake. But first of all, you don't understand the point of any of it. So
No,
second
don't
of all,
tell me
that
what
means
I don't understand.
you do understand the point of the creation of life. You understand that.
Oh, no, I don't understand that.
Right. So you don't understand it, but you think you understand it enough to say that God made a mistake. But you don't understand what he was trying to do. You don't understand what he did, but he made a mistake. That does your logic makes zero sense.
No, my logic makes perfect sense. What doesn't make sense to me is why all of a sudden you're sticking up for this asshole.
Because I'm a super Christian. I just like arguing. I don't even fucking care.
When they heard God walking in the garden, they hid because they were afraid. God called to the man and asked him why he was hiding. The man confessed that he and the woman had eaten the fruit.
Oh, that was the mistake. Why did you confess to eating the fruit, asshole? All right. But God already knew. Why did he ask him why? If God already knew what was going to happen, why did he ask them, why are you afraid? He already knows why they're afraid.
Again, second time he's fucked up. We should keep a tally.
He didn't fuck up.
He
None
did.
of these are fuck ups.
They are.
How? You keep saying that, but you can't explain to me how they're fuck ups.
Because he created these two dildos. Like, okay. He created the dirt and the serpents and fucking tomato plants, everything.
Right.
And then he creates these two retards who are running around naked and hiding behind a fucking rock because they ate.
Does it say what kind of fruit it is?
Nope.
Huh. Crazy. I'd like to know.
God pronounced a curse on the serpent, making it crawl on its belly and putting enmity between it and the woman and her offspring.
I don't know what that means.
I think it means pussy.
I'm gonna put a pussy between you and my kids.
All right. Enmity. I got to look that word up.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
Enmity. There we go. The state of feeling or being actively opposed or hostile to someone or something.
So the snake was opposed, hostile. So wait, first of all, the snake wasn't crawling on his belly until God said, "Crawl on your belly."
Do it, bitch.
So did the snake have legs?
That would be a lizard.
He turned all the lizards into snakes.
Okay, God pronounced a curse on the serpent, making it crawl on its belly and putting hostility between it and the woman and her offspring. It doesn't make any sense. Is that why women are scared of snakes?
I think this is the part where you're not supposed to read it literally. You got to pick and choose what you read literally and what you don't. So now there's a hostility between man and beast, right?
No, woman.
No. Okay, woman. So that's fine. So before this snake, whispered in Eve's ear, there was no like man. Exactly. There was woman and man were not scared of the animals, right? They all just lived in harmony, right? And then God said, "No more of that shit. Now you're scared," right?
Yeah, that's what I said. That's why women are scared of snakes.
Right. Got it.
God also punished the woman with painful childbirth and a desire for her husband who would rule over her. Ah, sweet.
Whoa. So a punishment is a desire for her husband to rule over her? That's
BDSM.
Awesome. So God created BDSM on the 9th day or whatever this was.
To the man,
stop counting
God declared,
days?
Yeah.
Okay.
To the man, God declared that he would face painful toil in working the ground, which was also cursed because of him.
Oh, see, this is all of this is coming together, and it's so simple. Jeez. Now I understand why, for generations, men did the work, women took care. Now, I mean, it makes sense, like, why they think that happened now. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that I agree with it because it's retarded, but like, it makes sense what the stories are saying now.
Okay, so before this, because it says God also punished the woman with painful childbirth.
Yeah.
So before they ate the fruit, kids would just slip right out.
I mean,
like,
yes, probably. Oh, there's another one.
Didn't even fucking see you there. Yeah, see, that's stupid. That doesn't make any sense.
Why? What part doesn't make sense? They looked at the way of the world and they said, for forever, men work the fields or whatever. Men work, women take care of the house and give birth to the babies, all that kind of stuff. And they basically created a story as to how that happened. Like,
oh, no, I'm not. Maybe that's where we're cross.
Okay.
Is I'm looking at this as the word of God. You're looking at this as, oh, this is the story they made up to explain why things are the way they are.
Yeah. So to read this, to read this and say this is the word of God, you pretty much have to be retarded, right?
I mean, it's like, I think it says that right on the Bible. This is the word of God.
but that's the part where it's just a story. You don't have to take that part literally. So I guess that answers your first question is like, obviously it's not the word of God. Obviously these things happened long before this book was written. And then people just are trying to make sense of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we solved the Bible.
We're basically theologians. But I don't want to stop. This is very fascinating to me. This is super interesting.
Despite their disobedience, God made garments of skin for the man and woman to clothe them. God
Garments
then
of skin.
man, like Hannibal Lecter. I don't know.
Here, wear the skin suit.
Now go dance in the moonlight. What was that? Was that Ed Gein that used to
Yeah.
make women or make like lampshades out of women's faces?
Yep, he would go to the graveyards and dig up corpses and take the skin off and make shit out of them. You're just an artist. It's cool.
Is it weird that I think that that's kind of like cool or fascinating? Like I would be skeeved out. I couldn't put somebody's face on my face, but I think it would be cool to see a lampshade.
So I think it would be cool to see a lampshade as long as it's. Does it have to be a face lampshade? I mean, if it was a skin lampshade.
Oop, got your nose.
I love the way your nose looks in the light. So if it's just like an arm or a leg or your back or whatever, and you wouldn't even know.
No, I would want to know. Like,
Really?
yeah, I wouldn't want a lampshade made out of back skin. Like maybe front skin if it still had nipples.
That would be awesome. So, but they make all kinds of stuff out of animal skins. It's the same thing, right?
Yeah, probably not. Like,
No?
like, you ever laid on a bearskin rug?
No.
Have you ever laid on a fake skin rug, like a fake animal skin fur?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know how it feels good to roll around naked?
Yeah.
Okay. Now picture that it's my skin. It's my skin suit laying on the ground. You think that would feel as good?
Yes.
How funny would it be if you rent like an Airbnb or something and there's a Doug skin suit laying in front of the fireplace and you put it on and you're like, oh, look at my shitty tattoos. Oh, I'm so big and bad.
That would be awesome.
I'm a little doughboy.
Holy shit. Oh man, that would be amazing. Just laid out in front of the fireplace with your mouth open.
God then banished them from the Garden of Eden to prevent them from eating from the tree of life and living forever. He placed cherubim and a flaming sword to guard the way to the tree of life.
Cherubim? Is that some kind of nuclear material?
I think that's like a cherub, I think.
Oh. Those
Like
little fat babies with the wings?
A fat baby with bow and arrow.
Yeah, go out there and protect the gates.
You fat fuck, get out there.
That's weird. That's a weird thing to have to protect the gates.
Cherubim, is that what I said?
I think so.
A winged angelic being described in biblical tradition as attending on God. It is represented in ancient Middle Eastern art as a lion or bull with eagle's wings and a human face. That's where you do your scream. Well, that's not a fat baby at all.
No, not even a little bit. It's a little bit worse than a fat baby.
A lion or bull with eagle's wings and a human face. Well, fuck, I wouldn't go back to that garden either if there was a
So is that like a centaur or whatever? No, because centaurs have like arms. I'm trying to picture this animal. How do you have a bull body with a human face and angel wing, like eagle wings? Like,
okay, so
none of that even makes any sense.
None of this makes sense. Cherubim, or whatever the fucking word is the plural of cherub.
But a cherub is a fat baby with wings.
A cherub is a representation depicted as a chubby, healthy-looking child with wings. See, you can be healthy-looking and chubby.
Uh-huh.
The Bible says so.
So cherubs are fat babies with wings, and plural of cherubs are bull with a human face with eagle wings. Cool.
It's called a murder of cherub.
Cool.
Anyway,
right.
that's the first 3 chapters of the
Oh.
Bible.
I want to know. So does the Garden of Eden just get overgrown? Then who takes care of it?
Who tends to it?
Who tends to the Garden of? Is that when he created Mexicans? Shit's getting overgrown. We need somebody to take care of this. None of this makes any sense.
Well, it's not necessarily supposed to.
But it's supposed to. It's supposed to give you comfort, right?
There's nothing that we just read that made me feel comfortable with anything.
Huh. So all of man was created from Adam and then Adam's rib, right? Every person, right?
I don't know. We'll get to that. Like, so you want to do this again?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So let's not spoil it for everybody.
I just want to know when the incest, like when do the retards come from the incest?
When do they introduce the trailer park?
Right. And if Adam was Middle Eastern and Eve from his rib was a Middle Eastern rib, where do white people come from? Where do black people come from? Where do Chinese people come from? What about the Russians? Where do they come from?
I think that is like when we get to the Tower of Babel.
Yeah.
I think then that's when that comes into play.
How?
Do you know what the Tower of Babel is?
Yeah, they tried to build a tower that went all the way up to the heavens. Or I don't know if they were trying to get all the way to the heavens, but they built a tower, got too high, God knocked it down.
Does it remind you of anything else?
So is this 9/11? Is this a 9/11 story? Got it.
Yeah, so as I understand it from all of my research and the people that I know that were there, the God was like, "Oh, you guys are getting too close," and he knocked the tower down.
Yeah.
And then made everybody speak different languages.
And made some of them darker and lighter.
Well, I mean, that just like put people in Africa where it's hot, they're going to get darker. It's like leaving people in the oven too long.
You ever seen Wesley Snipes? He didn't just go to Africa and get dark. That's not how that works. Okay, bye.
Oh, time to go?
I don't know. Is it?
Okay. See you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
All right. Do you remember where we left off?
We did Genesis 1-3.
No.
Right?
I mean, what happened? Just like 3 sentences. What happened?
God created everything, created people, or created man, created woman from man. The woman got talked into eating an apple by the snake. They got kicked out of the garden. They had to cover their junk.
No, I can't.
Perfect. I don't remember the very last thing. Was it they were kicked out of the garden? Was the last thing? I got kind of fuzzy on the end.
Yeah, I think. Okay, so where this picks up, where chapter 4 picks up, is Adam and Eve's first kid or kids.
Okay.
So that means that there's a whole plot line that's missing. Like if they got kicked out of the garden,
right?
Like there's 9 months in there somewhere. Like
I was gonna say, what's the timeline? How long between the time they got kicked out and the time they had a kid? Is it exactly 9 months?
No, I don't.
Yeah. So what I want to know is, was someone conceived in the Garden of Eden?
I don't know.
Kind of important.
It's not important.
Sure. If you were conceived in the Garden of Eden as a that's important to you, right? Wouldn't you want to know? Like if you were conceived in in a hotel room in Atlantic City or whatever, that's important. Those things shape who you are.
No. It's what's that saying?
E pluribus unum?
No, like your surroundings versus your
nature versus nurture. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, but it sounded better when I was thinking of it than when you said it.
Okay.
Wouldn't it mean more that you were born like you are the son of man's rib? Like, isn't that more important than you are the first person or the only person born in the Garden of Eden?
No. No. Because if there's one man and one woman, that means everybody comes from that man's rib.
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm not part of no fucking man's rib. I'm not gay. See, okay, I don't even want to. There's so many things I don't understand about the Bible, and maybe we'll learn.
Sure.
But if the Bible says they made Adam and Eve,
Yeah.
and then those Adam and Eve had kids,
Yep.
and then those kids had kids, and those at some point somebody's fucking somebody's brother or something.
Like some point, like the beginning point, like it's the second tier down. I mean,
But what they say is the Bible only talks about the first, not the second, third, and fourth. So that's their way out. Like there's Adam and Eve,
oh,
and then God created 15 other couples, for the key party or whatever the fuck they were doing.
okay. Is that what it says, or is that what just people assume?
That's what people say to counter the incest argument.
Oh, well, if it doesn't
You
say
sound
it,
disappointed.
yeah, I am. I didn't realize that. Like, if there's an argument against the Bible, you can just make stuff up. I didn't realize that was where we were at. Like, does it say in the Bible that this is the story of this particular way? It says God created man. It does not say men. It doesn't say, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't say it anywhere in there. You're just making stuff up.
No.
Unless it does say it in there, and I just haven't got that for yet.
The chapter
Did
4.
you say no?
The chapter begins with the birth of Cain and Abel, the sons of Adam and Eve. Cain, the older of the two, became a farmer working the soil, while his younger brother Abel became a shepherd tending to flocks of sheep. So I'm sure you know the story of Cain and Abel.
Vaguely, one of them tries to kill the other one or something. No, I guess I don't really. Didn't one of them get hit with a rock or something?
I think you're thinking of what's the guy with the butt fucking name?
Dick Buttkiss?
No, it's another name for fucking someone in the ass, I think. What am I thinking of?
Anal sex? There's a guy in the Bible named Anal? Cain and Abel?
What's another name for butt fucking? Come on, porn guy.
I'm trying to think of a Bible name that would be.
No, just give me names for anal sex. Go.
You're putting me on the spot. All I can think of is anal, butt sex. I don't know.
Fuck.
You're putting me on the spot because I can't get it out of my head that it's got to be a fucking Bible name too.
David and Goliath. That's what I was thinking of. I don't know where the butt sex thing came from.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I don't understand how I missed that.
Both Cain and Abel brought offerings to God from the fruits of their labor. Cain brought produce from the land, while Abel brought the firstborn of his flock, specifically choosing the fattest portions. God looked fuck you. God looked favorably upon Abel's offering, but he did not accept Cain's. This caused Cain to become very angry, and his face became downcast. So God made Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve had kids.
Yep.
The kids obviously can see God, right?
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, they're bringing him meat and vegetables.
So God tells Abel or Cain, whichever one, that like I don't want vegetables. I don't want lettuce. But okay, he makes, huh?
So he rejected the vegetables, not the meat.
Right.
Okay. I was just making sure.
God looked favorably upon Abel's offering, but he did not accept Cain's.
Okay.
That means that he didn't accept it.
No, I couldn't remember which one brought what. That's what I'm making sure.
Cain brought the salad.
It was one of those fucking macaroni salads. It's ridiculous.
I bet it was potato salad with raisins.
God said no, and he flipped the fucking bowl. What the fuck are you doing?
Doesn't it seem odd to you, like this whole story, like the whole fucking story so far,
Yeah,
is based around God as a prick. Okay,
Yes.
so this guy is a farmer.
Yeah.
or a fucking vegetable farmer, whatever.
Uh-huh.
That's all he has is vegetables, and he
Right.
brings you vegetables, and you smack the shit out of him. Like, get the fuck out of here with that.
Right. So that if somebody brings you a gift, like one of your subjects, I guess, whatever, brings you a gift, what's the significance of not accepting it? You're just a dickhead.
I made this. Why are you giving it back to me? That's like some 6-day shit, bitch.
You ever created vegetables? Come on.
In response to Cain's anger, God warned him that sin was crouching at his door, desiring to control him, but that he must master it. This was a call to Cain to control his anger and resentment. Instead of heeding God's warning, Cain lured Abel out into a field where he overcame by jealousy and anger, and he killed his own brother. Okay.
Yeah.
Another stupid fucking story. So, if you are Cain and God comes to you and says, in his big booming God voice, like, control yourself.
Yeah.
Fuck that bitch. I'm going to go kill this motherfucker. Like, this isn't realistic.
No. I have a brother. If my brother gave some meat to God and I gave God some vegetables and God didn't take my vegetables, I can't say that I would kill my brother. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, if God accepts one offering and not another, why? I just can't make the connection. And I'm trying to figure out when they wrote this, how. I'm just trying to put the goddamn pieces together of the people who wrote this and where they were at to try to, you know.
I don't care so much. Like, I don't look at this about the people that wrote this.
Yeah.
I look at this like the people now in 2023 that go to church and talk about this shit like it really fucking happened.
So, okay. Do you think that there was a Cain and Abel? Like, somebody killed their brother and said, God made me do it. Do you think maybe this was the first instance of that? Like, well, God wanted me to skin you alive. You know, one of those type of situations, you know?
He wanted me to wear your face in the moonlight.
Right.
When God asked Cain where Abel was, Cain responded dismissively, saying, I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper? This was Cain's attempt to avoid responsibilities for his actions. Again,
Yeah.
big booming voice. God created the world 7 days,
Yeah.
rips people's ribs out and makes other people out of them.
Right.
And he asked you a question specifically and you respond like you're Jesse Pinkman.
So, not only that, but you know, obviously, God, you're the second people in the world. God created your parents, and then God says, "Hey, where's your brother at?" And you're like, "You think he doesn't know? You think he didn't watch you kill him? I mean, what?" It's like you're hiding the fucking rock or whatever behind your back. I don't know.
God then revealed he knew about Cain's actions, telling him that Abel's blood was crying out to him from the ground. As a consequence of his actions, God cursed Cain to be a wanderer of the earth, and the ground would no longer yield its fruits for him. So
you're going to starve to death. Cool.
I don't understand the Bible. Bible's hard.
No, basically, in today's terms, God got mad and took away his tractor. You can't farm now.
Okay, so if we establish that this book was written to explain to people why things are the way they are,
Yeah.
what's the lesson here?
So there's got to be something to do with jealousy, and I'm wondering if there was a famine, a drought at the time, crops weren't growing, you know what I mean? And
see, that's why you're the smart one in the fucking bunch. That's all it is somebody was explaining, and they're like, is that fucking Cain?
right. I mean, there's a story that explains, you know, like something they can't, like why the sun goes up, why the sun goes down. Like there's all these stories that try to make sense of the world before, you know, DNA, fingerprints, all that kind of horseshit.
Okay.
I don't know.
Blah, blah, blah. Chapter concludes with brief genealogy of Cain's line, ending with Lamech, a descendant who, like Cain, also committed murder. Lamech took 2 wives, a departure from the previous pattern of monogamy, and arrogantly declared that if Cain's killer was to be avenged 7 times, then he himself would be avenged 77 times. That's what I want. I want to be avenged 77 times.
After the second or third time, isn't it just like, all right, man, he's avenged already? Jesus Christ. Seen this movie before. So it lists or does it tell you who Cain and Abel had children with?
Yes, but it's not worth repeating. Like, there's no, like, Angelina Bassett or anybody. There's nobody famous in there. You don't know any names.
No, I don't care about the actual names. I'm just saying. We were just talking about this. Does it say where those people came from?
God damn it!
Do you understand what I'm asking? Like,
yes. You're asking me to do more fucking research, and I thought I had all this shit lined up, and I was trying to
say you don't know.
No, because I did this, and I'm like, okay, he's going to ask where the fuck did these people come from, and then I'm going to have an answer, and then I looked into it, came up with the answer, and I'm like, oh, this is stupid. It's not even worth fucking talking about, so I'll just tell him it's not worth talking about. And I fully expected you to say, oh, okay, well then we'll move on. But instead, you're like, well, I really want to know.
You know that, like, that conversation was 30 seconds ago. That's not how it happened.
Cain, which was Adam and Eve's first son, after he was banished for murdering his brother Abel, Cain founded a city and named it after his son, Enoch.
Okay.
Enoch, which is Cain's son, had Irad. Irad had Mahujalu. Mahujalu had Methuselah. Methuselah had Lamech. Lamech had 2 wives, and then 2 sons with 1 wife, and a son and a daughter with the other wife. See, I told you this was not going to be fucking interesting. What was your question?
You're like listing all these men.
Well, that's what I looked up.
Where are the women?
Okay. Who? What am I looking? What do you want to know?
Women in the Bible from, like, Genesis, or where did the women come from? Where did any of these people come from?
Okay. The Bible states in Genesis 4, chapter 17, or verse, whatever. What's the 4:17 mean? Chapter 4, verse 17. Cain made love to his wife, and she became pregnant and gave birth to Enoch. Cain was then building a city, and he named it after his son Enoch. The identity of Cain's wife is not explicitly mentioned in the Bible. Given the biblical narrative, some believe that Cain's wife was one of Adam and Eve's daughters.
Yeah, this is going nowhere.
Hold on. No, wait. Hold on. Given the biblical narrative, some believe that Cain's wife was one of Adam and Eve's daughters or granddaughters.
Granddaughter.
Okay, Cain.
Yeah.
Okay, Adam and Eve had Cain.
Yes.
Then Cain fucked
Either
one of Adam and Eve's daughters.
Right, or granddaughters.
Which would be his sister.
Right. So do you understand what I'm trying to figure out now?
Due to this lack of explicit detail, the identity of Cain's wife has been the subject of much speculation, debate, and various interpretations over the years. Some see it as evidence of other humans not descended from Adam and Eve, while others assert it was indeed one of Adam and Eve's unnamed daughters or descendants.
I think this like helps your theory that, like, or not theory, but like, why do people take these things seriously? Why are we taking these stories seriously?
There are incredible plot holes.
Right.
Okay, so I can give you what the Christian response to that would be.
Sure.
You got to have faith.
It's George Michael's response. I got into an argument with a guy, and his whole argument hinged on that. And like everything that I would bring up that was, we were arguing about religion or whatever, and everything that I would bring up that was like, didn't make any sense. His whole argument was, that's why you have to have faith. It says in the Bible that you have to have faith. Oh, okay. Well, whatever. It says in the Spider-Man comics that freedom, responsibility, whatever, one of them lessons. So I'll learn that too, I guess.
But I don't understand why you're having conversations with anybody about religion, because I don't think you know shit about it. And I mean that with all the respect that I could possibly mean with that statement.
Uh-huh. Well, I mean, it's an easy answer. I was like 22 years old.
Oh, I thought you meant like recently.
Oh, fuck no. No, you know the guy, I'm sure. They called him Little Hitler.
So that was you.
Nope, not me. Yeah, maybe you don't know him then. So when I was younger, I would say that I was like, what, like a militant atheist or whatever. I was like, people who believe in religion are fucking stupid or whatever. I just softened.
I think that's where I'm at. Like, I mean, I don't dress in fatigues or anything, but that's where my mind is that anybody that believes this is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's it.
No, okay. So
Black power?
No.
What? I don't know.
No, I mean, I was gonna say I go both ways. But I understand what you're saying. I think it's stupid to believe, but I also am seeing what's happened when there's no religion. So I don't know. Some people need it, I guess. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, but make one up that's fucking believable.
How? When you make them up that's believable, what ends up happening is...
How is that Scientology shit any less believable than this?
That's what we should have done, is went through Scientology, man. How is it less believable? I think it's less believable. I don't even think it has to be believable. I think the way that Scientology works is they keep it secret, even from the Scientologists, until you reach the next level or whatever they call it. Like each level unlocks new information.
They don't have the answers.
No, but it's made up. It's all made up. But they just keep information from you until you reach the next level. That they don't tell you about the aliens until you're towards the top. You know,
bad example. The Mormons, the magic plates and
magic underwear.
Yeah, how is that any less believable than this?
I don't know. I really don't know. It's a lot newer. How about that?
Okay.
Does that make sense? I don't know, man.
Do you think people that believe in Mormonism are stupid?
No, because I without knowing them, like, I think there are people who are Mormons and say, I believe in all of this, who deep down really, really don't believe. But
that's not what I asked.
It is, because
no,
it's not what I asked. It is, because if I tell you that I'm a Mormon and I believe in Mormonism, but I really don't, then
you don't apply, because I said, do you think people that believe this are stupid? Not people that say they believe it.
Yes. Then if you really believe it, but I think those people are very, very, very few. For all really, I think it's all very few people actually believe that these stories are true in a literal way.
No, that is so far from, you are so disconnected from the common man.
Am I? I mean, I am, but
okay. So the first person that comes to mind is the guy that I used to work with named Randy.
Oh yeah, that guy's crazy.
There are a lot of Randys.
No, really? You think?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe he doesn't even really believe. Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah, I can't even argue against that.
and he believes the Bible as it is written, 100%. It is not an interpretation. Mm-hmm. It is not an explanation. Mm-hmm. As it is written.
So have you talked to him
about it? So
about
shall it be
it?
done.
Have you talked to him about it?
Oh, absolutely. You know I can't stop myself.
No, I know. So what is his?
I'm going to hell.
That's it.
Yes.
Like, I'm sure you asked him like why, and his answer was
because I haven't accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior.
No. Well, I'm sure you asked him, why do you believe that this is true? Like
because I know it's true. I can make his argument. I can out argue you in the Bible all fucking day long.
Just by saying ridiculous shit.
Yes. And you can't stop me. As a matter of fact, I'm born again now.
Okay. Oh my God. All right. So the end of this story, Cain is walking the earth. Abel's dead, right?
No, Cain died.
Cain died. Abel's walking the earth, not able to farm. Cain's dead. That was that story, right?
And scene.
All right.
Chapter 5. This chapter begins with the line of descendants from Adam to Noah, also referred to as a genealogy or begot list. It starts by restating that God created mankind in his likeness, both male and female, and named them man when they were created. Adam was 130 years old when he had a son. What are you laughing for?
No, taking it literally. We're taking it literally. 130 years old when he had a son. Good.
In his likeness and image, and named him Seth. After Seth's birth, Adam lived 800 more years and had other sons and daughters. Adam lived a total of 930 years, and then he died.
From what? 930 years, huh?
He got eaten by a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
That would be awesome if that's what it said. So it literally says that he died at 930?
Yep.
So, okay, forgetting all of the other horse shit, shouldn't that be a red flag to these people?
No, because that was before, like,
heart disease.
I was going to say food additives.
Seed oils. That was before seed oils. I love it.
Seth was 105 years old when he had Enosh. After Enosh's birth, Seth lived 807 more years and had other sons and daughters. Seth lived a total of 912 years, and then he died.
Awesome. Just awesome. So back then, the average age like 35? Or the average age people died was like 35, but these people lived to 130. Cool.
No, 900 years old, not 130.
Not 900. Sorry,
they didn't start having kids until they were 130.
You're not really mature until you're in your hundreds.
They still have their soft spots. It is noted that Enoch, unlike other patriarchs, did not die. Instead, after living 365 years, he walked with God and then was no more because God took him.
So he died.
This has often been interpreted as Enoch being taken to heaven without experiencing death. Methuselah, who lived a total of 969 years, is famous for being the oldest person in the Bible. The chapter ends with Noah, who was born when his father Lamech is 182 years old. Ooh, Noah. This is where it gets good. You know that name, right?
I do. So this whole story was basically just explaining the lineage, like of who came after who, but no women still.
Gay.
Gay incest is the worst kind of incest.
Yeah, because then it's for sport. It's not even for procreation.
Right. Right. Jeez. So I didn't realize, I guess, that all of these people in the Bible lived until 900 years old. I didn't know that that's what it said. I mean, there's so much that I, don't know about the Bible, but I really didn't know that. Is there a, does anybody make arguments about that? Do any of the Christians even try to explain that?
I don't know.
I'm just wondering if you've heard it. You know more about this than I do, being, you go to church and everything.
I'm doing some research right now.
Okay.
I'm going to phone a Christian
Ask Jeeves.
Okay. The extended lifespans of people in the early parts of the Bible, particularly in the book of Genesis, have been the subject of discussion and speculation for centuries. So, yes, people have asked.
Centuries. Uh-huh.
No, you asked if anybody's asked about this. And
No, I asked if any, I mean, what's the consensus? What do they figure? Like, yeah, those people just lived that long.
Some suggest that a year in ancient times might not be the same as our modern solar year. This could have been using different calendars or systems of age of reckoning. Another theory proposed.
So a year was a day.
Another theory proposed by some theologians and believers is that the human race was initially created with a perfect genetic makeup. Over time, we fucked it up.
So it goes back to what I said at the very beginning. If something doesn't fit, just make shit up. Right?
Yeah, like that's not a groundbreaking statement. That's what I've been saying as long as we've had this podcast, and every week we have Bible talk. I've been saying if it doesn't fit, then they acquit. And
that was as far as you thought that jump through.
It is.
So these words rhyme. OJ said it. Or OJ's lawyer said it. We're going with that. And joke done.
Yeah, but like what you're saying makes me think like, duh. Yeah, of course they just make shit up. That's why people like me don't believe in the Bible, because we think people like them just make it up.
And my answer is, like, when you say you're just making shit up, I'm curious what these people, how do they respond to that? Do they just make something else up? Or like, because the conversation that I had many years ago, he was just like, well, you just take stuff on faith. Like, to me, that means that, like, when somebody says something, you just believe them, you know, like they're like, it's like, you know, they're making shit up.
Okay. Before we started the show, you said, hey, the Patreon money came in. Okay. I have faith that you are going to pay me what is owed to me.
Dumbass.
Oh, hold on. Let me rephrase. I have faith that you are going to pay me what you are telling me is owed to me.
There you go.
Right? I'm operating on faith.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So the same way I believe that, other people believe what's in this book. What is so hard for you to understand about that?
Okay. Last month, did I pay you what I think I owe you?
Yes.
The month before that, did I?
Right, but they could say the same thing about this.
Can
There
they?
has been, yeah. God is great.
So, okay, let's apply those same principles. You know, every month from in your experience with the world that I'm going to pay you what I think I owe you.
And
Okay.
I know that God created man in his
Right.
likeness.
And do you know anybody who has lived to be 900 years old?
I don't need to see somebody to know that it's happened. The Bible said it happened, and they had different calendars.
And they had different calendars. Okay. Sounds good. Different calendars. Cool.
Have I convinced you yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Where do I
But-
give my tithe money?
That's you're leading me to what I was just thinking. How are we ever going to bilk our listeners out of tithe money if we don't believe it?
Right. You have to be all in if you want to start a cult and have that cult become a religion. So, do you think in the beginning that people used Christianity, it wasn't called Christianity then or whatever, but the early Christians, do you think that they used this religion to have sex with other people's wives? I mean, the way that like modern cults basically just use cults to fuck chicks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they did.
Yeah.
Not in the same way as like David Koresh or anything.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like it's actually exactly what I was thinking was David Koresh. Like, yeah, I'm just going to have sex with all of you. Like,
I have to have sex with your wife. I'm sorry.
yeah.
It's God's will
Right.
for my fat ass to bounce around on top of her for 32 seconds. It's what he wants. I
Right.
can't, like, he
told
speaks to me.
He told me that you got to watch too.
You got to put your finger in my butt. God's will. I don't know what to tell you.
God's will. I think that if you allow yourself to be taken in by somebody like David Koresh, like you kind of deserve it. Like if somebody is telling you that God speaks through him and you're like, oh, okay, cool. Like, yeah, here, fuck my wife. You know, like,
So I've said this before. I wish that I could be in that mindset. I wish I wasn't so jaded. Like, I wish that somebody could say, look, I'm going to need you to quit your job and give me all your possessions, and you're going to come stay here on a mattress on the floor. Okay.
okay.
God's great.
How awesome would that be? God's great. Everything is great here.
I'm going to need that table saw.
Oh, shit.
You know, we've joked a lot about wanting to start a cult.
Yeah. Joke.
I couldn't fucking handle it.
Why?
Like, I don't want to be a cult leader.
No, I'm going to appoint somebody cult leader. I'm just going to reap all the benefits.
Okay, here's what I've learned about me. In business, I am good. I'm good at my job. I'm good at thinking business.
Right.
Outside of that,
Uh-huh.
like, it's obvious with Bone Suicide that he didn't respond well to my method of coaching. Okay? Because I was really just trying to do that to make him a better person.
Right. Right. I understand.
Okay. Now, let's say that we got 90 of these motherfuckers running around the field.
Uh-huh.
Like, I got to figure out where they got to sleep. Like, I don't give a fuck where you sleep. Like,
That's the best kind of cult leader. You outsource all of the cult leader duties except for the fucking of the wives.
no, but then you still got to manage your cult. Like, you've got to tell them what they're allowed to watch and what not to watch. That means that you've got to preview it. So I've got to sit there and watch Cagney and Lacey because some fucking 50-year-old slut.
Just no. You're thinking about this totally wrong. So Dukes of Hazzard, right?
Yes.
So that's it. You're allowed to watch Dukes of Hazzard. I'm not previewing shit. I already know this. This is what we're fucking watching. Just have that on a loop on all TVs all the time. You have to design the cult around you, not try to fit yourself into the cult.
Okay, then it's not going to be Dukes of Hazzard because there's too many good messages in there. It has to be like Kevin Smith movies up until Clerks 2.
No, it's that fucking Walrus movie on a loop, 24 hours a day.
I haven't watched that. I can't allow that.
You could watch it and still not allow it. It's a fucking terrible movie, dude. So, yeah, you're thinking that you have to make all these rules and everything, but if you want to be an effective cult leader, it has to come from your gut. You have to create the cult in your image, not try to like make up rules just because.
The last thing I want is to deal with a bunch of people like me. There's no fucking way. Now I definitely don't want to have a cult.
Yeah, I'm out. I don't want to be in your cult.
You can't have an effective cult if you don't have rules. I mean, it's like in the name. Cult.
No, I was thinking that through. So I understand, but I think my way of running a cult and your way of running a cult would be completely different. I'm outsourcing all of it. I'm not kidding. Like,
You're not going to be fucking any wives.
I'm fine with that. Can I collect the money at least? Like, there's got to be
No.
money coming in. So what do I do in my own cult?
That's why you got to fucking screw them down. Turn the screws.
No, I have somebody else turn the screws for me.
Then though, okay, let's say that you outsource all the screw turning to me.
Perfect. This is going to be a great cult. You're my
Okay.
screw turner.
Okay. So I can tell you right now what's going to happen. You're giving me all that power. I'm going to be fucking the wives, and I'm going to turn the husbands on you.
Why would you do that? All your power
Because-
comes from me.
No, you were already trying to take the money. You've already
No.
said you.
No, I'm granting you the power. Why would you
No.
turn?
Okay.
This
So
is
let's
my
say
cult.
No, you've lost power. I'm the
How?
screw turner.
I'll hire a guy screw turner to turn your screw or whatever.
Yeah. So you. Okay. First off, you are too lazy to be a cult leader.
Right, I agree.
Okay. You
What
need
about
somebody
second
like
off?
me.
yes, you're my screw turner.
No,
You're
I'm the
right.
cult leader.
But you don't want to do it
I'll outsource it.
to a guy like me. This is perfect. We'll just outsource work back and forth. We're just moving money around on paper.
There ain't no money. Everybody's left because we can't make a decision.
We don't have any followers. It's just me and you moving money back and forth on paper. We're fucking dumb. Anyways, Genesis.
Yeah, chapter 6. The chapter begins by noting that as the human population began to grow and spread across the earth, the sons of God saw that the daughters of humans were beautiful and took them as wives. What?
Wait, the sons of gods took daughters of humans.
Yeah.
So it says there's more than one God.
Sons of God.
Sons. Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you said gods. Sons of God took daughters. Isn't there only? I'm so confused. Wasn't it just Adam?
Well, that I think this is the phrase that makes people think that God created Adam and then others to be named later, I guess. I don't know. You know, okay. Okay, it says God, Adam and Eve are the first people.
Yeah.
Again, it doesn't say the second, third, fourth, fifth.
Yeah.
Did that clear it up for you? Are you good
No,
now?
I'm so now the sons of God are taking wives of humans or
Right.
taking daughters of humans.
Daughters
so-
of humans.
Yeah. So does it sounds like God's mad about that?
Why?
I don't know. That's what it sounded when you read that. That's what it sounded like. It was bad.
The chapter begins by noting that is the human.
There. Yeah. See, maybe it was just your inflection.
This somewhat mysterious phrase, sons of God, has been interpreted in various ways, including as angels or the descendants of Seth. Oh. It's either this guy's kid or angels.
Huh. Weird.
God observed the wickedness and corruption of humankind and was grieved.
I'm
He
so grieved.
He regretted having made human beings on the earth and decided to wipe out all of life, humans, animals, and birds, as a consequence of their pervasive wickedness.
What the fuck did birds do?
You ever been shit on by a bird? I'd wipe them motherfuckers out too.
Jeez. So, all right. So God's going to kill everybody. Got it. He created it. He can kill it, right? So is Adam dead at this point?
I don't know.
Does it say anywhere in there how old when Adam died? Like how old he was when he died?
Anywhere in there. No, okay, look. I don't know how many times I have to tell you. Stop clicking.
Shut up.
No, it's fucking annoying.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I don't know how many times I have to tell you. When I did this research, all right, so this is what I have pulled. So it's not, is there anywhere in there? It's Doug, when you did the research, did you find out how old Adam was when he died?
That's like way too long. Is it anywhere in there? It's way shorter.
Okay. According to the Bible, specifically chapter 5, verse 5, Adam lived to be 930 years old. It states, so all the days that Adam lived were 930 years and he died.
All right. Uneventful. Seems... none of this makes any sense. So, okay. So even before like the 2016 election, God was like, yeah, you people are fucked. And he decided to kill everybody, right? So it's not just a new thing. We've always been fucked, is what you're saying.
But you know what bothers me is it doesn't tell you why we're fucked or why they were fucked.
Wickedness is all it says, right?
Yeah, it's just like we started having sex,
Yeah.
made kids, which is what we were supposed to do, is go forward and multiply or be
Right.
fruitful or whatever the fuck he
But
said.
not with sex. God.
Like he just wanted everybody to do math
Yes. Yeah, grow vegetables and multiply.
and do long division.
It is weird to me how there's like always a connection between religion and the deviousness of sex. You know what I mean? Or just some sexual component to religion always.
That's all religion is about sex.
You think so?
It's yes, everything about religion is sex.
I don't think so. Where's the sex part of the guy stoning his brother to death and not being able to grow vegetables after that? All right.
Yeah, but they had to have filler in there. There's sex on either side of that.
There's a sex scene at the front and a sex scene at the end.
All right. God observed the wickedness and corruption of humankind and was grieved. He regretted, killed the animals and the birds as a consequence of their pervasive wickedness. However, Noah found favor in God's eyes. Noah is introduced as a righteous man, blameless among his contemporaries, who walked faithfully with God. Noah had 3 sons, Shem,
Right.
Ham, and Japheth.
Shem?
I thought Ham was a funnier name.
No, you said Shem, and I thought you were going to list the Three Stooges. What's his name? Like Shrimp or whatever? Shemp?
Shemp.
Yeah. Shem.
Despite the surrounding corruption, Noah and his family remained faithful to God. God informed Noah of his plan to destroy the earth. Hey.
I'm going to kill everybody.
Okay. You see all them people out there? I'm going to light them up. Watch this. Plan to destroy the earth because of the widespread corruption and violence. In contrast to the rest of humanity, Noah was given a divine directive to build an ark, a large ship to save himself, his family, and a remnant of the world's animals. God gave Noah detailed instructions on how to build the ark, including its size, its materials, design, whatever. It was to be coated with pitch inside and out to make it watertight.
Pitch. All right.
God also instructed Noah to bring into the ark 2 of every kind of living creature, male and female, to keep them alive with him. How did Noah know what a woman was, but nobody else does? This included birds, livestock, and wild animals, as well as all kinds of food for them and his family. The chapter ends with Noah obediently following God's commands. This demonstrated Noah's faith in God and his commitment to doing what was right, even in the midst of corrupt society.
I'm going to build this boat no matter how corrupt society is. So stupid. So isn't this the story of a lunatic person? Like, so I'm sure you've had a neighbor who you look over there and like you know that he's just a crazy person. Imagine you look over and your neighbor is building a boat and collecting animals and putting them on the boat and then just waiting for it to start raining. It's a lunatic.
No. I've had a neighbor
Uh-huh.
who built a boat.
Uh-huh.
Like it wasn't that odd.
Right. Was it did he take that boat to a body of water or did he wait for the water to come to the boat?
He more the second one.
Right, not that odd, really?
No, I mean he just never actually finished building the boat. So it just kind of stayed there waiting.
And eventually it got animals in it. Right.
It did, in fact. A couple coons.
Uh-huh. Right.
That's your problem with it, though? You think it's just a crazy person? Like,
Yeah.
'cause I don't think there was a Noah.
Okay.
I don't think there was a boat.
I think they found the boat, didn't they?
No. I think that would be big news if they found Noah's Ark
No, I think they found like washed up in Florida or something, right?
in the bayou.
In the bayou. No, so I think you're wrong. I think this is one of those stories where somebody saw his crazy neighbor building a big boat, and his neighbor said, "God told me to build this. There's gonna be a flood." And then his neighbor was crazy, started collecting animals to put him in the boat. Just a crazy person. And he wrote this story down, and then that story got used by somebody else who read it somewhere, and they tried to tie it into the bigger picture of showing how everything was created.
Okay, now may I counter?
Of course.
I was listening to, what is it? I was listening, waiting for you to stop talking. I wasn't processing what you were saying.
Of course.
So I may very well be saying the exact same thing as you. I wouldn't know it because I didn't pay attention when you
Right.
talked.
No. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So my counter to you is the entire thing was made up. There was nobody building a boat,
Uh-huh.
and it was strictly to show God's fury and his ability to wipe out Earth if he wants to. So be careful.
So you're saying that the boat story completely fabricated?
Up to and including the boat story completely fabricated.
No. We're talking about the boat story. I think
Yes, boat story fabricated.
I think we're saying the same thing.
No, I'm saying there was never a guy building a boat. It's just all 100% bullshit. Like,
But
you got
wouldn't
to be careful because God is a spiteful motherfucker.
Right.
I heard from a friend that he wiped out the entire earth with a flood.
Right. And his friend read an account of somebody's crazy neighbor building a boat. Like, I think our theories come together.
No. Your theory, somebody actually built a boat. My theory, boat was made up. Two totally different theories.
But no, they converge and they end in the same way. They start out here, they come together, and they both end with God is vengeful.
Like, at best, I would say somebody went fishing once, and then that was Noah.
This guy named Noah went fishing.
He caught 2 fish, and the rest is history.
Oh, genius. All right. No, I disagree. I think somebody built a boat. Somebody wrote the story about somebody building their crazy neighbor building a boat, and then somebody else used that knowledge of the story and then built on it to show how vengeful God is.
No.
Okay.
Okay, so you have a choice to make.
Yeah.
We now pivot and get away from religion,
Yes.
or I assume that you were going to want to know how this boat was made, so I did a deep dive on Noah's boat.
No, yeah, let's hear it. Let's talk about the boat.
Okay.
No, we can pivot away from religion. Why didn't you just say that? Okay, we can talk about the boat. I don't give a fuck. Okay, bye. Is that better?
Oh, I also want to hire somebody to do show notes since Bones died.
Yeah. Okay.
Because
You don't want to do it, and I don't want to do it.
no, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
I want show notes, like the show notes that Bones was producing. I want somebody to continue doing that.
Okay. Can you get Bones to do it from the beyond?
I bet he's got a fucking brother or something. Like,
You think?
see if he could write show notes in memory.
You think he's got a hot sister?
I hope she's not as fucking pain in the ass as he was.
This whole thing was a learning experience.
Yeah, don't deal with fucking people named Bones.
Right. I don't even know if I know his name. Johnny or Jimmy?
I think it was Jimmy. The instructions for the construction of the ark can be found in Genesis 6:14 through 16. Here's a detailed breakdown of those instructions.
Holy shit. So the Bible gives you instructions on how to build your own ark?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. That's
Okay,
awesome.
you really haven't read the Bible. Like, that
Yeah.
blows my mind.
Did you think that I was lying?
Okay. I think I've read it twice in my life. Gay. Okay. So I retained, let's say, 8% of what I read.
Okay.
But I still have retained enough to have an argument with somebody.
Okay.
I don't understand how you have arguments with people about something that you have zero knowledge of.
I don't have zero knowledge of it. I think that
Every time I say something that is like common knowledge, you're like, holy shit. Like, there's people in the Bible?
it's irrelevant. And I stand by
Oh,
that because have you read whatever the fucking Muslim Bible is for the Quran or whatever?
No.
Right. So why aren't you a Muslim then? You know enough about
Because I don't know. I might be. I don't know.
But so you've never argued against Islam or any of the tenets of Islam or any of the people who believe in that, who do dumb shit. You don't have to read the foundational text of everything.
Stop.
But
I can't have a conversation about what it means to be a Muslim because I don't know. Like, does it say in the is it Quran or Keurig or whatever the fuck they read?
the Keurig.
Does it say in the Keurig that they have to blow buildings up?
I don't know. I never read it.
Right.
But that's you just made my point. It's irrelevant if it says it in the Keurig. They're blowing buildings up.
It's
and
not irrelevant if it says it in the Keurig.
What? Why is that not? If they're saying I'm going to blow this building up for Allah, and I say, if Allah is telling humans now to blow up buildings and they're doing it, who gives a fuck what their foundational text says?
Because how many times have people killed somebody because God told them to?
Right. You're making my point for me. Why would you believe in something that these people are twisting it to do this, that, or the other?
Because you can't negate something because somebody else is twisting it to their behalf.
And unless I read it, then I can negate it.
That at least you can understand what you're talking about. You're arguing against something that you have zero knowledge of.
That's not true. I'm arguing against something that I'm watching play out in real life. I don't give a fuck what
No, you're not. You're not arguing against the Bible. You're arguing against some Yahoo's interpretation of the Bible.
Everything is an interpretation
You're
of the
an
Bible.
interpretation.
What you're reading is
It's God's word.
What you're reading to me right now is an overview of a translation of a translation.
Research.
Right.
Research.
Right.
Okay, motherfucker. You're going to tell me I didn't do this?
Didn't do what?
Put this together?
Yeah, right. No, you did. Did you read it in Hebrew?
What the fuck's a Hebrew?
Right, exactly. So you're working off of a translation, and then somebody is taking that translation and breaking it down for you so that you can understand it. And then, but you're criticizing me because I've never read it. That's retarded.
No, it's not retarded.
It is.
Okay. I am arguing for or against something that I have read.
Mm-hmm.
You are arguing against something that you have zero understanding of.
See,
Like,
that's
you
where
haven't even-
you keep repeating that, but that's not true. I'm telling you that if you can watch it play out, how do you have zero knowledge of it? I've talked to so many people about what the things that they believe. So how do I know nothing about it? Because I didn't read what you read. I've talked to all the people who believe it.
And they all had the exact same answer? They
No,
all believe the
that's
exact
my
same thing?
point. No, the
No.
whole thing is open
No,
for
they probably
interpretation.
didn't read it either.
Right. if the whole thing is open for interpretation, then I can just tell you that I read it and yeah, I interpreted it different than you.
Okay.
I
then
made
just
up
do
different
that.
shit than you.
Then do that.
I think it's stupid to have to pretend that you have to read these
No.
foundational
you're-
texts to
it's just
understand
another
that
way-
this is wrong.
It is okay. It is just another way for ignorant people like yourself to remain gloriously ignorant.
Right. So glorious.
No, it's like you want to sit there and talk shit about people who read. That's it. That's where I'm stopping.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Are you for or against Mein Kampf?
Am I for or against it? I don't know what that means.
Mein Kampf?
Yeah, I mean, I know what Mein Kampf is, but what does it mean to be for Mein Kampf?
So there is a bunch of messages in that book.
Mhm.
Are you for or against the messages in that book?
I don't know. I haven't read it.
Okay. How can you decide you don't know on that book, but you do know on this one?
I've never talked to anybody about Mein Kampf ever.
Ask me a question.
Okay, what are the messages in Mein Kampf?
I don't know.
Right. Gotcha. You really got me on that one.
Roasted.
Are we still in Genesis?
Oh, yeah, we got like 46 more chapters to go.
Jesus Christ.
Right. Now, he comes later. Don't spoil it for everybody.
Sorry. All right.
So instead of doing Bible after Bible after Bible,
Yeah.
we can bounce around. Like there's that book that I was reading. What the fuck is it? God damn it. We'll talk about the ark some other time or something.
Okay. Okay. You get so bored so easily.
All right. Where did we leave off? I think it was chapter 7, Genesis chapter 7.
Is that we made it that far? I didn't realize we made it that far. I was going to say chapter 5, but
All right. So I think where we left off was Noah built a boat.
oh, okay, yeah. So when we left off, had he gathered the animals or he was just building the boat?
He was just building the boat.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Now remember, we are not questioning whether or not this is true. We know this all to be true.
Right.
Okay.
That didn't happen.
Okay. So starting off in Genesis chapter 7,
Yep.
God singled Noah out as the righteous.
Okay.
Noah's told the flood will occur in 7 days.
Oh, Jesus. All right. That's not very much time to build a boat.
7 days. No, I think that I think that he was told to build the boat like decades or hundreds of years or whatever. But he just didn't know when the flood was. He had 7 days to acquire the animals.
Yep. Got it. So this was the first African safari. Got it.
And then Noah and his family are instructed to go into the ark for safety. Okay.
Okay.
So the boat is sitting out on blocks in his fucking by his driveway or
God,
whatever.
his neighbors hate him.
I don't care for the way that I formatted this.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead and reformat it real quick. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm not okay. So, any issues with that so far?
No. So as long as, like you said, it was hundreds of years or whatever in advance, he knew to build the boat, and then he gave him 7 days notice. Like, hey, I'm evicting you from the world. Like,
Okay. So it's so hard for me to say, here's where I have an issue. Because
It's all issue all the time.
he gets, whatever, 20 years. Let's say he gets a year to build the boat.
Right.
And he gets 7 days to round up the animals.
Right.
It's like God's kind of a peckerhead.
Yeah, kind of.
Like I've been sitting here this whole fucking time. You couldn't have told me this, that after I build the boat, I got to grab these fucking animals?
I didn't really make room for the animals.
Okay, so God commands Noah to take 7 pairs of clean animals and birds and 1 pair of unclean animals into the ark.
What's an unclean animal?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
All right.
Okay, so a clean animal is land animals must have cloven hoof and chew the cud. Examples include, I know.
That's awesome.
Examples include cows, sheep, and goats.
Okay.
Sea creatures must have fins and scales. Examples include most type of fish. Birds, certain birds are considered clean, but the Bible explicitly prohibits eating birds of prey and carrion eaters. I don't know what that is.
Like people that go onto airplanes, eat people's luggage.
Unclean animals, those that are either do not have cloven hoof or do not chew the cud. Examples include pigs, rabbits, and horses.
Why? So where do they get clean and unclean? Do you understand that, or does that make any sense to you? Am I missing something?
Yeah, they don't chew the cud.
So you gotta chew the cud to stay clean. I'm just trying to understand the distinction. You know what I mean?
So is this where the Muslims get that pigs are dirty animals?
I think so.
Or do they get that from them rolling around in shit?
Well, I mean, I think it doesn't help that they roll around in shit. No, I think that, I mean, I always heard it was like a Bible thing, not like a they roll around in shit thing.
See that? Okay. An unclean animal is those that either do not have a cloven hoof or do not chew the cud. Examples include pigs, rabbits, and horses.
Yep.
Black people eat rabbits.
Do black Muslims eat rabbits?
Oh,
eat
yeah.
rabbits.
For some reason, I was just stuck on black people. Like they think they're better than us.
Any animal that doesn't have cloven hooves and chew on his cud is unclean?
Yes.
So
Or chew the cud.
Okay. So is that why, like, if you know, like, a hillbilly, they probably eat raccoons and possums, and that's nasty?
Yeah, but they're not God-fearing, obviously.
Oh. No, I mean, is that why the idea that we look down on people who eat possums?
No, it's because possums are fucking gross. You ever stepped on one?
No. No, do you understand? Okay, I'm trying to establish some idea of where our
what is acceptable to eat, what isn't?
Yeah, I mean the whole thing, all of it, because it has to come from somewhere. It can't just be like, okay, we don't eat horses. Why don't we eat horses?
Because we ride horses.
Yeah, you don't eat what you ride.
No,
like
but I mean that's where that comes from.
If you ride it, you don't eat it?
No, a horse is a tool. You either ride it or it's a worker.
Oh,
you don't eat a worker. They didn't eat slaves, did they?
Maybe.
And those were even dark meat.
So then they used oxen or whatever to pull wagons, right?
Yeah, those don't count.
Oh, okay. Those tools don't count.
No, but those were cloven hoof chewing the cud.
Oh, I don't even know what cud is.
I was thinking it was grass.
Oh. Why don't just say grass then? Why would you call it cud?
All right, now I got to look up what the fuck is cud.
And why would you chew on it?
Partly digested food returned from the first stomach. Ew. Who would chew the cud?
Yeah, dirty animals chew the cud. I think they got this backwards. If you have an extra stomach just to throw stuff up so you can chew on it later, aren't you more dirty than an animal that just has one stomach? And just the food goes in here and comes out as far away in your body as possible?
I'm explicitly only eating non-cud chewing animals from here on out.
Right.
I don't want to eat fucking animal throw up. That's fucking disgusting.
You don't eat the throw up. You eat the heart or the liver or the intestines of the throw up animal.
Fucking disgusting. Bible's gross.
Agreed.
Okay.
All right.
So he has, let's see, God commands Noah to take 7 pairs of clean animals and birds and 1 pair of unclean animals into the ark.
Okay.
And he's got 7 fucking days. So do you think that he knew that the reason why they said chew the cud is because they threw up in their own fucking mouth?
Yeah, I mean, so he gave him this list and he's looking at the, like, I wonder if Noah said, what the fuck's a cud? He's like, so the same thing that I said.
Why don't you just say grass? No, dickhead, it's throw up. Well, then call it puke.
Call it puke, stupid.
The clean animals are the ones that chew the puke.
It doesn't sound as cool when you say chew the puke.
That would be a good band name.
Chew the puke. I like it.
That's
So
like masticate. I think that's what masticate means.
they should change their name to chew the puke.
Yeah.
Write
Don't
it
you
in
think
those
that would
death
get them
metal letters?
Don't you think that would get them some more traction than masticate?
Yes, absolutely I would.
Chew the puke. That's a good fucking name.
Oh shit.
All right. The chapter specifies that Noah is 600 years old when the flood waters arrive, giving a precise timeline for the event.
Precise. Uh-huh.
On the 17th day of the 2nd month, the fountains of the great deep burst forth and rain falls from the sky, marking the beginning of the flood.
17th day of the 2nd month.
Why don't
So-
they just say February 17th?
I was just gonna say, so February 17th, got it.
See, it's all these fucking riddles, man. Like,
So you have to chew on your puke on the 17th day of the 2nd month, and if your hooves are cloven, but not 3 cloves, 4 cloves.
do we know what Noah's wife name is?
No.
Let's call her Margot.
All right.
She sounds like a Margot.
Sure. Yeah. Sounds good to me. Margot.
Margot, get the puke chewers. We only got 6 days left.
Do you think that all of the origins of women fucking dogs came from Margot? That's what I'm thinking. I mean,
What?
if you're stuck on a boat with all these animals, somebody's fucking an animal somewhere in here. Does it
Why would
say
she
anything
choose
about?
a dog?
I don't know. Women are fucking great. Women be shopping. I don't fucking know.
Okay, so does that mean? And I don't know this. Does that mean like there were 2 pit bulls and 2 chihuahuas and 2 huskies and 2 Great Danes?
No.
and so on and so on.
No. There were no dogs. Dogs weren't even domesticated until like the 1980s or some shit like that. Like it was wolves. That was it.
Oh,
And all dogs came from wolves, and all dogs go to heaven. So there was not like all these breeds of dog. That didn't come until much, much later, way after Bible times.
you know that for a fact.
100%.
I do know that all dogs came from wolves.
Yeah.
I have always thought that all dogs go to heaven, but I didn't know the timeline in which those things happen.
After they die, they go to heaven.
Right.
We got that one down. So if people were breeding wolves to make dogs, that didn't happen before the Great Flood.
How do you know?
Because we were barely out of the Garden of Eden. You think like we immediately left the Garden of Eden and started breeding wolves? No,
No,
of
it's
course not.
hundreds of years.
Right, hundreds of years. It's thousands of years before they started breeding dogs. I'm thinking like the 1800s.
How long between the Garden of Eden
And dog breeding.
and the flood? Fucking Google sucks ass.
I see you want to buy a Roadcaster.
4,359 years
Oh,
ago.
all right. So then how long between the Garden of Eden and Chihuahuas?
Those are from Mexico.
Oh. Wait, does Mexico not count in the Bible? Is there
No.
no Mexicans from the Bible? Huh. So I think I'm right?
Okay, so that's fine. Fuck dogs then.
All right.
So were there 2 cardinals and 2 blue jays and 2 sparrows? I think that's all the birds. 2 eagles? Or was it
No.
just 2 birds?
2 birds. And those 2 birds were used to make all birds. The crossbreeding
no
of
sense.
like birds. The crossbreeding of bird species didn't happen until later, much later.
You're saying this as if you know it to be true, and I know you don't know it to be true.
Because there's not enough room on the boat for every species of bird. It doesn't say species, it says animal. An animal's an animal. It's not a different species. A bird is a bird.
Bird is a word.
So he accidentally grabbed a crow and a robin. And-
Come here, you little fucker. Okay. Was it 2 of every species
God, that's a huge fucking boat.
or 2 of every breed on the ark? Over. Declares that 2 of each kind of animal were to be collected and brought on board. This is repeated in Genesis chapter. Spoiler alert. As well as to birds, but Genesis specifies that clean beasts and birds were to be taken by 7s. How many different animals were on the ark? To summarize, there were 7,876 pairs of animals.
7,000 pairs of animals on the boat with just that's this happened. Absolutely happened, remember?
Right.
So,
Okay, what's the largest zoo in the United States?
I don't know shit about zoos. What's that one in Chicago? That's pretty big, and they got monkeys. I don't fucking know.
Okay, the North Carolina Zoo now is number 1. It's 2,600 acres.
Oh, geez. Okay.
How many animals?
Oh no.
in
I
the
see where you're going now.
North
Oh,
Carolina
boy.
Zoo. 1,700 animals.
Right. It's a pretty small boat. 2,600 acres, right?
Yeah.
What's that in like
Cubits.
feet or miles per hour or whatever? That's
How many square feet? You can't do that.
no. I mean, is it like that's big? You can't build a boat that big, right? I mean, but
No, we already talked about the size of the boat. I really need you to keep notes, man. It's going to get super. We're still in the easy shit.
oh god.
We should have done the Old Testament.
We can go back and do that as a prequel.
Okay.
So So that doesn't really even answer our question whether or not like there was, like you said, was there crows and robins and blue jay? Which birds are clean? Which birds are not clean? Like this doesn't spell it out very well.
Puke chewers. So no, we know that.
Puke chewing birds. Is it just the? But it said certain kinds of birds are not clean either, and I've never seen a bird with cloven hooves.
Rising waters. The waters rise quickly, covering even the highest mountains by more than 15 cubits, around 22 feet.
Okay,
So the waters covered the highest mountain
by
by
22
over
feet.
22 feet.
Got it. That's a lot of water.
All living creatures not in the ark are wiped out, from humans to animals and birds.
Shitty.
Why would birds be wiped out?
Because they can't fly more than 22 feet above water, above mountains.
Why?
I think it's something to do with the atmosphere. It gets like the atmosphere gets thin or something.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about science in this.
Right? Forgot about science and all of this. So the rain knocked them down, maybe? It was such a heavy rain that it knocked them into the water and they drowned. I don't know.
No. I guess it would make sense because there's no place for them to land and rest. I can't just keep flying. If the entire world is covered in water, which we now know is fucking impossible, but whatever. I'm not going to go there. If the water is 22 feet above Mount St. Helens or whatever the highest fucking mountain is,
Right?
is it the Andes Mountains? Mount Zapiqua?
I think it's Lake Titicaca. So, okay. So, don't we know that sharks sleep like moving. They sleep while they're moving, right? So why couldn't birds, like, whatever you call it,
There's nothing for them to eat, though.
fish? The fish float to the top, don't they? So how did all the fish die then?
I think the fish were spared.
Huh. I have so many questions. Every story just opens up more questions. So why couldn't the birds eat the fish and learn, like, evolve? That's the word I was looking for. Why couldn't they evolve to sleep in motion like sharks do? Because back when sharks weren't on land, I'm sure they slept not moving. But when they went into the water, then they move. And I just have so many questions.
How do you have any idea? I know you don't, but I'm going to ask anyway. Do you have any idea how long the water was up that high? I mean, because it only takes 3 minutes to drown somebody, and then did the drain get pulled and the water went down?
So, okay, does it say how long it took to fill up the world? Like, how long did it rain for? 7 days and 7 nights or something like that?
40 days and 40 nights.
40 days and 40 nights. It rained for 40 days and 40 nights. How long do you... Okay.
But I think in Bible times, I think 40 means many. I'm serious. I think it's like it rained for many days and many nights, and Alibaba and the many thieves. I don't think it's actually that. I'm being serious.
Okay. No, that's just funny. So, okay, when you're filling up a tub, you've got water coming in like from a spigot, but it's coming in fast. When you're draining a tub, it drains slower. How does it say how long it took to drain the world?
It just says it rains for 40 days and 40 nights, but the waters continue to remain high after this period.
Does it say where they go after the water drains? Like, I know where my tub water goes. Where does the world water go when we drain the world? There's nowhere. If the whole world is water, where are you draining that water to? And did the did the volcanoes get extinguished? Because there had to be volcanoes, right?
I don't know the answers to these questions.
I don't either.
I'm not prepared for this. The tributaries. The water went in tributaries.
Into the tributaries. Got it. Cool. That answers all my questions.
Noah, his family, and the animals with them in the ark are the only survivors of the global catastrophe.
Okay. So we started with 2 people. Incest made all the people. Killed all those people. Now we're back down to more.
Nobody even talks about that incest.
Right, yeah. We're back to another round of incest. So we're like 2 incests into this.
Like Margot's bent over the washer like, I'm stuck in here.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
The chapter closes by confirming that all life on dry land, which had the breath of life in its nostrils, was eradicated, leaving only Noah and those with him in the ark as the survivors.
And all the animals. And their job was to, like, propagate the earth with animals and people. So what happens if I bring 2 of everything, but one of the turkeys doesn't make it? Now there's just no turkeys. You know what I mean? Like, that's a shitty system. Like,
no, it's not 2 of everything. It's 7. They came in 7s.
Oh, 7s.
Except for the dirty fucking non-cut eaters.
Okay, so he brought 1 of each of the dirty cut eaters, non-cut eaters. He did bring them, right?
Right.
Right. There's just so many questions. I'm so confused. Like, because...
Are you telling me that I'm not digging deep enough in my research?
No, I'm telling you that there isn't a deep enough. Nobody answers these questions. Like, did the volcanoes go extinguished? Did they extinguish the volcanoes in the 40 days and 40 nights of rain? Nobody answers that question. I'm the first person that's ever thought of that, ever.
Okay, so science would tell you that water is on the surface of the earth.
Yes.
Right. Volcanoes are underwater. Like they're under the earth. They're under the 3rd layer of crust.
No.
Oh.
I seen that Pixar movie with the 2 volcanoes that fall in love.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you haven't seen it then. There's two volcanoes and they fall in love. They're above the water. It's fine. How are volcanoes? You can jump into the top of a volcano. I've seen videos of volcanoes erupting. That's not underwater.
No, but like the bubbling lava is underground.
Okay, but it's open on the top. And when it rains, and if it fills up everything, you're extinguishing the I'm stuck on this.
Hold on, I'm going to do a deep dive.
Okay.
All right. The Bible doesn't specifically what happened to volcanoes during the flood.
Of course not.
Well, they can't write about everything. You got to have faith, man.
I do. I have faith. I believe it. I have faith, but I'm also curious. How about that? I have faith that 40 days, 40 nights, rain, animals, another round of incest.
I'm checking into my my theory
of relativity.
No, of the word 40 in the Bible.
Oh, okay.
In biblical literature, the expression 40 days and 40 nights is often used to signify a period of trial, testing, or transformation. While the period can be taken literally as a specific length, as many people do, it also carries symbolic weight in both the Jewish and Christian traditions. The number of 40 appears multiple times in the Bible and is often associated with periods of testing, trial, or preparation. Moses spent 40 days and nights on Mount Sinai receiving the law. The Israelites wandered in the desert for 40 years. Jesus fast. It's just people were fucking stupid. Everything was 40.
Right. 40 just means a lot. Got it.
I don't know.
I didn't know that, but
so 40 is your equivalent to 7. If you remember any time when we were working together and I would say, hey, so how much is it going to cost to do this? I don't know, 7. Everything was 7. So much so, I heard that so much that I've been using it ever since.
Good. I'm glad I had that effect.
It's the only thing I ever learned from you.
It's the only thing I ever tried to teach you. I'm glad you took that away.
You gave me 40 headaches.
Nope, only 7 headaches.
All right. Well,
Bye.
That's it. That's the chapter. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Where do we leave off?
Funny guy.
So I think one of the things that I would like to ask is I would like a listener to record a recap from the previous episode. No, don't you?
Just 2 minutes or whatever, like a minute?
Not even a minute, like 30 seconds. Just what did we talk about on last week's episode? Like just super cliff notes, like just 15 seconds. Like there was a flood and animals got on a boat. Take it away.
All right. That wasn't even 15 seconds. I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Okay, so we are picking up. We are on Genesis chapter 8.
Yes.
All right. So you just jump right into it then?
Yeah.
No how you doings? No nothing? Just
yeah, how you doing? What'd you do this weekend? Anything cool?
all right. Genesis chapter 8. After 40 days and 40 nights, the rain ceased. The Bible states that God remembered Noah and every living thing in the ark. Noah! It's like
he has to state that he remembers them.
You ever like filling up a sink or something and then you walk away to go do something else? Noah! Shit!
Son of a bitch.
After God turned on the fucking water, what would he be thinking about? Like,
how much he fucked up Adam and Eve. Shouldn't have made that fucking snake.
the fountains of the great deep and the windows of heaven were also closed, effectively halting further flooding.
Fountains of the great deep. Okay. Does that mean like you just basically just turned off the spigot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like that fucking geyser you went to probably just didn't geyse anymore for a little bit.
Right.
The waters began to recede from the earth. They continuously diminished for a period of 150 days, leading to a noticeable reduction in water levels. It specified that the waters decreased steadily. So don't be asking like how many cubits or how many meters or anything like that. We don't know.
So, like, not quite 6 months. Is that right?
150
So,
days?
yeah,
30,
whatever that was.
60, 90, 120. 5 months.
5 months. So for like Noah was on this, waited for it to rain, raise the boat up, and then he was at sea basically for 5 months. I'm just trying to follow, making sure I'm following along with the story. He's at sea basically with all these animals for 5 months.
You know what annoys me about this shit?
What?
Is later on in the Bible, there's a bunch of detail, about like how many fish he filleted or whatever the fuck he did with that. And
Yeah.
anyway, but like this is got to be the most important event in the Bible.
Right.
This flood.
He flooded and killed everybody except for one family, basically, and animals.
He washed away all the footprints from the people that he was walking beside.
Right.
You're on your own, bitches.
So, and there's not much detail is what you're getting at. Like,
Right,
the
right.
most important thing that happened, God killed everybody. And what I just said is probably a little more detail than what they gave in the actual Bible. God killed everybody.
The ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. The mountain peak would have been the first piece of land to emerge as the flood waters receded. The ark's landing marks a significant milestone in the flood narrative.
Wait, what was the mountain?
Ararat?
Ararat. Is that even like a high mountain? He said it was the first mountain.
It was at that time. It was the highest one they knew of to write this fucking book.
So they didn't put it in the book because they didn't know about the other mountains?
What's it called? Mount Ararat?
Sure.
Oh, that's a volcano in Turkey.
Oh, is it even that high?
16,854 feet. Okay.
That tells me nothing.
Okay, top 10
Mountains.
highest mountains. It's not even in the top 10.
I'm calling bullshit.
Well, no. You don't have to call bullshit.
Why?
Okay, because if the boat's floating around, that's just the first. All it's saying is that's the first thing that
in that area.
Yeah.
that the boat was in. Gotcha. Okay. All right. Fine. No bullshit.
it's
I'll let this one pass.
still plausible.
Right.
As the waters continue to recede, other mountaintops become visible. This happens on the first day of the 10th month, October 1st.
October 1st.
The appearance of multiple mountain peaks signifies that the Earth is slowly returning to a livable state. No, it doesn't.
Look, mountains, we can live. It's not the first thing I think of.
So, I have lived through a hurricane,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I have lived through my house being underwater.
Okay. Okay.
When the water recedes, it's filled with black people shit. And I mean,
there's a line of it, 8 foot.
but it's also white people shit and Mexican shit, as well as animal shit and sewer. Was there sewers in Turkey at this time? I don't know.
I think there's sewers in Turkey now.
But there's also snakes and bears.
Did you have a problem with bears when your house flooded?
But no, okay. So imagine all the world's seawater rises up into your living room.
Yeah.
And then when it recedes, it's not like it takes everything with it.
So there wasn't everything to take with it. You're thinking of the Earth as it is now.
No, I'm not. I'm thinking of the Earth as I saw it in North Carolina. So even take away like all of the black people shit.
Yes.
It still kills all the grass and everything. Everything's submerged underwater for 150 days. Like it's not getting a bunch of sun under there.
Right.
So the day that it recedes, you see a mountaintop, you're like, oh, the Earth is now livable again.
Look how livable it is.
Okay. Another thing.
All right.
Do you agree with me that 150 days, if your yard's underwater for 150 days,
Yeah.
you're going to have to plant grass seed?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
I would say yes.
And there'd be no flowers, nothing. It would just be mush,
Yeah.
marsh,
Mud.
mushy marsh.
Yes.
Okay.
Mushy marsh. Right.
You've only got 2 fucking bees in your boat, pal. There's no flowers. There's no pollen to pollinate.
And did you pack grass seed? I mean,
2 of every hybrid.
hopefully he's got the right kind of grass seed. Huh.
And the fucking birds ate it.
I wonder why God picked Noah. Why wouldn't you pick like a chemist or botanist or a phlebotomist or whatever? Whatever those ones that fucking do science shit to bring animals back from the dead and fucking grass seed and all that.
I wouldn't even want that fucking task. If God was appear through the clouds and like, Doug Rhodes, what the fuck? I need you to build a boat. No.
I don't know how to build a boat.
Even if I knew how to build a boat, I'm not building a fucking boat.
I'm just gonna float on a door. Is that cool?
So just to be clear, me and my wife are going to be out at sea for 150 days with 2 of every animal.
Right. Let me get this straight.
Can I get like a Steam Deck or something? Like,
So did they have solar power back then? How did they power the fucking Game Boy and shit?
how did they power the boat? There's no pictures of the Ark being a sailboat. They just floated. Like, there's nowhere to go. They're just going up. So I guess you don't need to.
Yeah, and up, and there's no landmarks anywhere, so it doesn't matter which direction you go, right? You just have to survive. That's it. You just don't drown. That's the only reason you even have a boat.
All right. Noah released a raven to scout the land conditions. The raven flew back and forth until the waters had dried up from the earth. The text does not indicate that the raven returned with any specific sign. All right.
What? So, does it say in the last chapter how many ravens he brought with him?
He's only got 1 left. All right, let's start a raven count.
Yeah. So if you only bring 2 and you release one of them, what if it dies? What then? Like, there's no more ravens in the world?
No, wasn't there something about clean animals bringing 7 pairs or something?
Oh yeah. So are ravens clean?
Are they? What was it? Crud or chud eaters? Or?
It is now. They're hoof-footed chud eaters. Huh. I'm confused about all of this because he brings all these animals, then he's like, I'm gonna pick the raven. And he says release to the raven, which means that at some point the raven was in a cage. So you round up all the animals in the world, put them in a cage, and then put them on a boat. This is like, it reminds me of like the precursor of the transatlantic slave trade. Like they're putting them on a boat.
So the funny thing is, so you round up all the animals.
Yeah.
Then you're floating around for 150 days.
Yeah.
And then to test the conditions, you just start chucking animals overboard to see what happens.
Throw the platypus out, see what happens. See if we're good yet.
Noah then sent out a dove to see if the water levels had fallen enough to expose dry land. The dove found no resting place and returned to Noah, indicating that the earth was not yet hospitable.
But the raven couldn't do that? I'm so confused. All right.
No, the raven did it, and then the dove did the same thing.
So they sent out the blackbird. He fucked it up, so they had to send out the white bird to get it right.
Just like a horror movie, they send the blackbird out first.
This is terrible. That's just terrible. I can't even believe this is in the Bible.
7 days later, Noah sent out the dove again. This time it returned with an olive leaf in its beak. The presence of an olive leaf signaled that plant life was resurfacing. and apparently not affected by 150 days of being underwater.
Right. So that's it. Like he doesn't like, I wonder where this came from. Like, just like, oh, there's olives, there must be land. So then what does he turn the sails on the sailboat that he doesn't have? How does he find that land from the olive that the fucking dove brings back? That's just, none of this makes any sense. All right, go ahead.
Don't forget.
Oh yeah, this is all true.
Yes, that's important.
It's hard. It's hard to remember that. Sorry.
Another 7 days pass, and the dove is sent out once more. This time it does not return, indicating that the dove has found a place to settle, and thus the earth was ready for habitation.
What? Or it just died. All right. The dove found a place to stay, decided not to come back. Habitation commence.
Okay, if you're a dove
Yes.
and your owner, he's now your owner,
Yes.
once a week is just throwing you overboard, and then you finally find a place to live, there's only one other dove on the boat. Like, you want to come back and get your other dove.
Right, yeah.
Your dove friend.
I'm assuming that he threw the guy dove, I would hope. He'd come back, the guy dove would come back for the girl dove, and they would go, find their place to live or whatever.
So
Noah's kind of an asshole.
Selfish fucking prick. So we have to assume if the guy dove took off,
Yeah.
and then the only other dove is a girl dove.
Right.
There's two options. Okay. Either the doves ended up meeting up to make baby doves.
Yep.
Or the story's bullshit.
So they must have met up and they just left that detail out.
Okay. Upon receiving the sign from the third dove mission.
Awesome. I've seen that movie. It's got Tom Hanks, doesn't it?
I'm picturing Noah like with the whole SEAL team get up.
Dropping doves into the ocean.
Upon receiving the sign from the third dove mission, Noah removed the covering from the ark and saw that the ground was dry. God then commanded Noah to exit the ark with his family and all the animals. Get the fuck off my boat. I'm tired of all these fucking snakes on this motherfucking boat.
So that is awesome. So that, like, he opened the cover and God's like, there you are. Get off the boat.
It says Noah removed the cover.
How?
Maybe he put one of them fucking cranks on it, like an old camper awning.
Yep. That sounds about right.
Oh, that Noah. The earth was finally dry by the 27th day of the second month. The flood was officially over and the ground was suitable for life once more. This marks the completion of the flood event and the beginning of post-flood life.
Post-flood life. All right.
For me, post-flood life was the Red Cross.
Did they come in with a helicopter? With a helicopter and a ladder?
No, they came in. Remember, they came in with them shitty meals and MREs?
Yeah, I remember that. It would have been funny if they had to pick you up out of your house with a helicopter ladder.
There were people that decided to, because we abandoned ship or whatever, evacuated. But there were people that decided to hang out, and then they had to get evacuated. They had to come in on boats and boat into their house and try to get them out of the rafters or whatever.
So, this doesn't have anything to do with the Bible, but if they're warning you and your neighbors' houses are flooding, everything's flooding around you, and you're just like, nah, I'm going to wait it out. Who the fuck should go in and get you? Shouldn't they just leave you there? No, you were going to wait it out, remember?
And like it's how there's volunteer fire departments?
Yeah.
In places like that, like in Eastern North Carolina, they're volunteer lifeboat operators, just people that have bass boats and shit that go rescuing people.
Yeah, go get the people that were too stupid to leave when they could have left. Idiots. Bye.
Bye.
In chapter 8 of Genesis, after 40 days and 40 nights of rain, and 40 more days and 40 more nights without rain, the waters finally receded. God told Noah and his family to leave the ark and repopulate the earth. Just with him and his family. That's kind of fucked up.
All right.
What's up?
How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good.
Good.
You ready to jump right back into chapter 9 of Genesis?
Absolutely, I am.
Okay, so thank you, Tom, for the bringing everybody up to speed on what God has done.
Yeah,
and the
that's gonna
turmoil.
be a nice addition to this, actually.
Okay, so chapter 9 starts off with, so now I don't remember what Tom said. I think the water went down and they sent birds out, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Tom didn't say that, but yes, he sent out a couple of birds. Once one didn't come back, he's like, "Cool, we're ready to go."
Okay, so chapter 9 starts off with God talking to Noah,
Okay.
and he tells Noah, I don't understand the math on how this works. All I know is what the good book says.
Okay. Okay.
God blesses Noah and his sons, instructing them to be fruitful and multiply to repopulate the earth.
Okay. Wait.
Right.
Yeah, the math doesn't quite work.
So I questioned it because, okay, so it's Genesis chapter 9, verse 1.
Sure.
And God blessed Noah and his sons and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth.
Yes. But with you killed everybody.
You fucking prick. You could have left a whorehouse or something.
See that horse over there? Be fruitful, multiply.
What are you doing? I said whorehouse.
All right, multiply. So they're supposed to multiply now.
Okay, so just to go over what we just heard.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so God told Noah, I'm going to spare you and your family.
Yes.
Family. Like, there was no adopted kids. It was just Noah and his family.
Right.
Okay, so we already talked through Adam and Eve.
Yes.
And we came to the conclusion that it's possible that Adam and Eve were the first couple, but not the only couple. There could have been second and third couples for the key party.
Right.
Okay.
It doesn't specifically say that, but we left that open. Okay, yeah, fine.
Okay, but this one, like, it's pretty fucking clear.
So it says earlier, God killed everybody except for Noah and his family. And then God said to the sons, go be fruitful and multiply. Okay. We're not questioning. We're just explaining.
So the other thing is, now, okay, here's what we've learned.
Yeah.
So, people that argue against the Bible, they say things like, well, then we all came from Adam and Eve.
Yes.
And that's not true. We all came from Noah and his sons.
Right. Right. Well, so then Adam and Eve are dead by this point, and even if
Right.
they weren't, they would have died in the flood anyway. So everybody. So we came from from Noah and his sons. You're correct. Yeah. So why do people say that we came from Adam and Eve?
Because they don't read the Bible like we read the fucking Bible.
Wait. So Noah came from Adam and Eve. So I guess technically we did?
No, don't ruin this.
Sorry. My bad.
Okay. God establishes human dominion. God establishes
Dominion.
human agency over animals, stating that they will fear humans from now on.
Uh-huh. Right. So animals are supposed to be scared of humans. That's according to this, that's what it says.
What is dominion?
Dominion means that you rule over it. It's yours.
Dominion.
Dominion.
Dominium.
Aluminium.
Synonym. Okay. So God establishes that humans rule over animals.
Yeah. Yes. So no, over Is that what it says? Just animals? So because at some point, God says we have dominion over the earth, everything. Is that not what this one says? This one just says the animals?
And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth,
Okay.
and upon every fowl of the air, upon all that moveth upon the earth, and upon all the fishes of the sea. Into your hand are they delivered.
Right. So this is.
Don't dismiss me, motherfucker.
No, I'm not. I'm agreeing with you. That wasn't a dismissal. So this is where the idea that I think this might be the first argument against like environmentalism, right? Because God literally gave us the earth. Why? It's ours. It's for us. So preserving the earth by inconveniencing man is against God, right? I'm just kind of floating this out there like that. It kind of, I could be wrong about that, but the idea that man
we have
has,
agency over the earth, right?
right. The idea that man has.
Am I using it
agency-
right?
No. The idea. It's funny though. The idea that man has dominion over earth, I think, has a lot of implications in these people's minds.
Okay, so like when what you said started a thought process in my head.
Okay.
Like a guy from Texas with a big mustache and a big hat,
Yeah.
drilling into the earth,
Yes.
like fracking,
Yes.
to make millions of dollars with no care in the world as to the damage it's doing because it's his earth and he's a God-fearing man.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. I mean, that's an extreme example, but yes, absolutely. Because if it's for the benefit of man, which there's no way to argue that fracking doesn't benefit man, right? You're giving people cheap electricity or cheap gas, right? That's a benefit. So if you can justify the benefit to man at all, then it's your duty, according to God, to do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
I'm not saying I believe it. I'm just saying that's that's where these ideas come from.
I feel enlightened. Like, okay, I recycle,
Okay.
and
I didn't realize you were such a patriot.
but I'm going to stop
Oh, why?
because it's a pain in my ass.
Oh,
Like, if God wants me to go forward and multiply, and He doesn't say anything about recycling, He says it's my earth.
right. So
If I want to fill it filled with styrofoam McDonald's containers, I'll fucking do that.
so all of this opens up so many, like, if you're willing to look at what this says and the way things are now, it opens up so much, like, just the idea, be fruitful and multiply. If you extrapolate that out, it feeds into what we're going through right now. Why do you think people are so against abortion? It's literally against God's will. And that's
Right. Yeah.
I mean, not even the like killing of babies part. That's against God's will too, I'm sure. But just the be fruitful and multiply. So they should be against all forms of contraception, right? I mean,
So I think I know Catholics are.
yeah. Because they take this shit serious. They ain't fucking around.
Yeah, they have a kid for every time they have sex.
Right. Right. Like God intended.
All right. God permits Noah and his descendants to eat animals, but strictly prohibits the consumption of their blood.
Can you separate an animal from its blood? Like, isn't there blood in the meat?
Not if you cook it.
That's just a long way of saying cook your food. That seems weird. So wait a minute. So they're not allowed to eat blood, but they do it all the time.
Who does?
Christians.
When?
When you eat a steak, that's rare.
No, that's not actually blood.
Oh.
I'm not even, I just learned this.
Oh, okay. What do we got? What is it?
I don't know. I just know
Oh.
it's not blood. That's the
thought
only thing
you were
I
gonna-
remember.
I thought you were going to expand on that. just say that and move on.
I
love
mean,
it.
we can do a deep dive into. Okay, hold on.
I don't understand this because isn't there blood in meat? I mean, am I stupid? I mean, yes, but I mean, isn't there blood in meat?
Okay, well, this is from a reliable source.
Okay,
Well,
good.
The liquid you see in packages isn't blood at all. It's actually a combination of water and a protein called myoglobin. Myoglobin is a protein found in red meat that transports oxygen into the cells. Isn't that what blood does?
That's what I was just gonna say. So blood, right?
As a piece of meat ages, the muscle tissue breaks down, causing the liquid and myoglobin to leak out. I'd rather call it blood. Myoglobin sounds fucking disgusting.
Sounds nasty. It sounds slightly sexual. All right, so they're allowed to eat the animals, but they're just not allowed to drink the blood for some reason. But before Noah, before the flood, they were allowed to drink the blood?
No, they weren't allowed to eat meat.
Oh. Must have forgot about that. All right.
I think this is the first time it's come up.
Oh,
We're just supposed to know that.
Oh, all right, cool. Good.
God introduces the concept of capital punishment for murder, stating that killing a human being is an affront to God's image.
Really? So I know I did.
Am I going to have to edit out that gap?
No, that's fascinating to me. So killing a human is an affront to God's image, but so there's so many implications in this. So that means that God created man in his image and he told man to eat the animals. So anyone who is vegan is against God, right? I mean, there's just so much implications in all of these short little pieces, you know?
But flesh with life thereof, which is blood thereof, shall not. So it doesn't say you have to eat meat. It says you can eat meat.
Yeah, I guess that's right. But who wants to eat vegetables? Let's just talk about that. Huh. All right, so he's basically just laying out the rules for the new, like, go make babies and here's some rules, right? That's kind of what this is.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You can eat now. It doesn't matter if the animals eat chud or whatever.
You can eat whatever animals you want. I think the ones that chew the chud are the best ones.
So back to this blood thing. So,
all right.
Okay, we now know that science. Okay. Science has proven that the blood is not, that we see in steak packages and shit, is not blood.
Okay.
It is myoglobin.
Got it.
But there's no way they fucking knew that back then. They didn't even have microscopes.
Got it. So, okay. So do you think God knew what myoglobin is? I mean, he supposedly created it, right?
Do you think that God uses the word myoglobin?
No, I can't imagine he does. You know what? It's just easier if I call it all blood. any liquid that's in your body, blood. It's just easier.
No, but okay. If you, so I wonder if he meant like, I just don't want you sitting around with a chalice full of blood.
Oh,
which is why the Satanists.
Oh, see, God, this is short. But there's so much in here. Yes, I didn't even put that together. Yes. So the Satanists drink like a sacrifice from an animal and they drink its blood. Yes, that makes perfect sense now. Okay.
Look at us fucking closing the loop.
Fucking figuring it all out. Putting all the pieces together.
All right. God reassures Noah and his sons that he will never again destroy all living creatures as he did in the flood.
Wait a minute. Huh. That's not very reassuring. I mean, you killed all those people. Trust me, bro, I ain't going to do it again.
No, but specifically he says, I'm not going to flood the earth again.
Oh. So he's got something more sinister planned.
Look, I didn't put a drain in this motherfucker. It took forever.
I wasn't expecting. I was just sitting up there waiting for the water to go away.
Okay, this is a good one.
All right.
God provides a sign for this covenant, the rainbow. Whenever it appears, it will serve as a reminder of God's promise to not flood the earth.
So gay.
No, so think about, okay, so God flooded the earth,
Yeah.
wiped everybody out.
Yep.
He had this guy and his kids fuck each other until babies came out.
Yes. Yes.
And then he's like, okay, you can have steak. You can have lobster.
Yep.
Look, I understand that it was a rough couple. You had a rough 40 days and 40 nights. The water and the fucking mosquitoes were everywhere. I get it. I understand. I promise you, I will not do that to you again. And just so you know that my promise to you, I want you to be reminded of it every time you look up and see that rainbow.
I thought you were going to say, just so you know what I'm capable of.
No. So every time you look up and see that rainbow, I want you to think of the covenant that I have made. Okay?
Don't think of all those people I killed.
But now, the rainbow means you like to take it in the butt.
Right. Which is so awesome. I don't even think about covenant. When I just think about butt sex.
So, you talk about like the swastika, how it came from ancient times and then it's been repurposed.
Right.
And the Germans used it and now it means something different.
Right.
Like, this is the ultimate of that. Like, even God can't keep his symbols. They take them from God.
That's so awesome. So I'm assuming God is all knowing and all that kind of shit, right? So do you think back then when he wrote this, because I'm assuming God wrote it and gave it to somebody, slipped it under the door, he said, God, I can't wait till the gays take this over. This is gonna be so funny.
Every time I put up a rainbow, I want you to think of butt sex. I mean, that I won't do this anymore.
Right.
God elaborates on the rainbow sign, stating it will appear in the clouds and remind both humans and God himself of the everlasting covenant.
Awesome. Everlasting.
All right. Meanwhile, Noah has become a farmer, and he plants a vineyard after the flood.
What are you going to feed with grapes? What? We're just going to get drunk. I'm not eating shit. We're just going to drink.
Oh, it's like you've read the Bible before. Very next thing. Noah gets drunk on wine from his vineyard and lies naked in his tent, leading to a moment of shame and familial discord.
Wait, what's shame? He was laying naked in his tent?
Yep.
Okay. And then that's shameful for some reason?
It is when your sons walk in on you.
Oh.
So Ham, his oldest son,
Okay. Ham.
What?
That's a great name for a kid.
he walked in and seen his dad's crank.
Oh, no.
and-
He's traumatized.
And he's like, okay, this is fucking great. I got to go tell my brothers.
No. Look at this thing.
So then he goes out and he gets his brothers,
Yeah.
and they want to respect their dad's privacy. So they walk into the tent backwards so they don't have to see his cock,
Why did they walk in? What?
so they could cover him up.
Oh, okay. All right. So Ham Steak was just a pervert.
Okay. No, so no.
Okay. Was
If
it was an accident.
If you walk in,
Yeah.
okay, let's say you walk in your house and I'm laying in your bed naked, like,
yeah.
and you didn't expect to see that.
Right. I'd run and go get my kids. Come look at this.
But it's like a dick, only smaller. All right. That wraps that up.
Oh, that's it?
That's it.
So they walk in, cover him up, and is there any more to that story?
I thought there was. I thought that, like, he punished. I don't know if I read ahead.
Okay.
Fine, hold on.
So yeah, no. It's if there's more to the story, but it continues into the next chapter, we're good.
I'm looking. Bible.
I want to make sure we don't leave anything out. I want to understand this.
I thought Ham got in trouble, but I don't know if that's the next verse or not.
Yeah, don't look at your dad's dick, dude.
Noah wakes up and curses Ham. What the fuck?
Oh, is that the same?
Hey, what are you looking at my dick for? But Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it across their shoulders. When they walked in backward and covered their father's naked body, their faces were turned the other way so that they would not see their father's naked.
Jesus Christ.
Cursed.
How fucked is that? That's so crazy that the human body is supposed to be that shameful, even according to God.
But that was because of that bitch eating the fucking snake or whatever she did earlier on. Noah wakes up and curses Ham's son, Canaan, while blessing Shem and Japheth for their respectful actions. Cursed be Canaan! The lowest of slaves will be to his brothers. Praise be to the Lord, the God of Shem. May Canaan be the slave of Shem. May God extend Japheth's territory. May Japheth live in the tents of Shem, and may Canaan be the slave of Japheth. In other words, don't look at my dick. Imagine waking up from a light slumber and somebody just accidentally walked into your tent and you just start ranting and raving. Praise be to the Lord, the God of Shem. May Canaan be the slave of Shem.
This is amazing. So this
fucking
Noah's,
overreaction.
Yes, Noah's just kind of a dick, right? Like his kid walked into the tent. You're a shitty person. You grew grapes instead of food so that you could get drunk. You passed out drunk. Your kid didn't know what was going on, just walked in on you naked, and then you cursed him. You're an asshole.
So there's a lot of speculation about, like, if Moses was white or black, if Noah was white or black, all that.
Sure.
This proves Noah was white.
Why?
Because if you walk in on a black guy and his fucking hog is hanging out, all he would do is just go like, don't trip on that.
Okay. I guess that's solid proof. Theologians never thought of that one.
All right. I'll check in with you again next week.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
In Genesis chapter 9, God told Noah and his boys to go and repopulate the earth that God destroyed with a flood, to symbolize he will never flood the earth again. The covenant he made with Noah was symbolized with a rainbow. Following a hard day of work, Noah got drunk on wine he produced from his vineyard. His son Ham walked into his tent to see his father asleep hanging mad dong. Noah proceeds to curse his son Ham, leading us into Genesis chapter 10. Father Doug and Rectum Anthony, take it away.
What's going on, buddy?
What's up?
Are you ready to pick up where we left off?
Absolutely, I am. I am excited.
All right. So we are kicking off with Genesis chapter 10.
Yes.
Do you remember what happened last?
Be fruitful and multiply.
Again.
And what's that?
Again.
Yeah, again. That's all I remember.
Oh, yeah. And there was a naked dad in a tent or something.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about the tent. Yeah. Dad.
Okay.
Tent. Naked. Go.
Now you go. Okay. So Genesis chapter 10 opens up with the listing of Noah's sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. It serves as an introduction to the genealogies that follow.
Oh, boy.
So I think the quote from the text, if I can recall off the top of my head, now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and unto them were sons born after the flood. So it's basically just saying, okay, you know the fucking window peepers we talked about in the last chapter?
Yeah.
They're still cock looking.
All right.
This looks like it's going to be a really boring episode. It's all about the descendants of Ham or Sham or Shem.
Ugh. So that's it. That's just it's basically just a list of names.
Yeah, the descendants of Japheth are listed first. They're associated primarily with maritime nations. Is that boat nations? Water
Water people.
Like, I thought maritime meant water.
I think so.
So what's
I don't know. Maritime always in my mind always meant like the Navy or whatever, right? Did they have a Navy back then?
what? I thought maritime, like, fuck, I'll just look it up.
Stupid.
Maritime definition, connected with the sea. So any,
Yeah, see, these are waterheads.
this is stupid.
All right. Japheth, water. Is that what we got?
The descendants of Japheth are listed first. They are associated primarily with lands near water
Okay.
in various lands, each of its own language.
Okay.
Blah, 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 whatever. Who gives a fuck? Next, the descendants of Ham. And then the text mentions that Nimrod founded several cities, including Babel, which becomes significant later in the biblical narrative. Okay.
Nimrod?
Okay, now I've got to look that up. I didn't know. I thought Nimrod was like a dum-dum.
That's what I thought. Like, now waterheads, Nimrods, what? All of this shit came from the Bible?
Fucking retards. And
I didn't know any of that.
Nimrod is a biblical figure mentioned in the book of Genesis and books of Chronicles, the son of Cush. And okay, so Cush is pot.
Yep.
Potheads are Nimrods.
Right.
The son of Cush, and therefore a great grandson of Noah. Nimrod was described as a king in the land of Shinar. The Bible states that he was a mighty hunter before the Lord.
What does that mean when they say before the Lord?
Like, hold on.
Okay.
What does it mean to chew the cud?
We already covered that.
Before the Lord?
Yeah.
Okay. Fuck. What the Bible says about the mighty hunter before the Lord.
Okay.
Notice the word before in, he was the mighty hunter before the Lord. The word literally means face, that which is in front and which appears to another, as in face to face. Nimrod was a mighty hunter facing the Lord. The word before literally means that which turns. It has a wide variety of usages. It can be translated facing, before, in front, or against. So words don't have meanings in the Bible.
Just say whatever. It doesn't even matter. He was a hunter, and then something about God. I don't even understand what any of that means. Anyways,
Okay,
he was a mighty hunter.
Nimrod was against God. He was facing the Lord in battle. Oh, he was a bad guy.
Oh. I never would have got that. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. I never would have got that he was a bad guy.
That's because you didn't know what the word before meant.
Does it even say anything about him having one of them twirly mustaches?
You think he put God on the train tracks?
Yes.
Yeah, see? Get away from here, God.
All right. Nimrod put God on the train tracks. Got it.
Oh, Mizraim, another son of Ham, is associated with the founding of the Egyptian nation. This chapter's stupid. This should have been left out. They should have went on the cutting room floor.
Can you imagine what's on the cutting room floor of the Bible? Jesus. So, all right. So we found out who, founded Egypt, right?
When?
Just now. Isn't that what you just said?
Oh, I'm not listening. This
Okay.
this verse sucks, or this chapter sucks. Like I imagine a whole book, right?
Uh-huh.
And okay, I got a good chapter 9. Like there's fucking dicks, and there's floods, and there's fucking,
Right.
and there's incest.
Yep.
How are we going to follow this up?
Just a list of names. just give me some pages, and I'll just start listing fucking names. We gotta cool these people down. We can't have them too excited about the dicks.
We're not writing a porn here. We got to give it some girth.
Let it breathe a little bit.
Get them excited. Bring it down. Get them up.
Right.
Do you know if there's a lot of sex in the Bible? Like, are we going to get to some like good head and shit like that at some point?
I can't imagine. I thought it was all like killing, not sex. I don't know. That's why we're reading it, because I don't know. If there was sex in it, I would have read it a long time ago.
Okay, so Mizraim, another son of Ham, is associated with the founding of the Egyptian nation, meaning Noah's great grandson is one of the founding fathers of those.
Nation of Islam.
No, Egyptians.
Same thing. Got it.
No, that's a question. Is that what I heard?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. The descendants of Canaan are listed occupying territories later known as the land of Canaan. Where the fuck was that? Like, you can't just make up a fake name and then say, "Oh, that's over there in the other fake name."
In the land of Canaan.
Now I got to look up.
Every time you say the land of, it's fake. Like people don't say in the land of the fairies. Like, it's fake, right? I mean, like in the land of the United States.
Okay. The land known as Canaan was situated in the territory of the southern Levant, which today encompasses Israel, the West Bank, and Gaza, Jordan, and the southern portions of Syria and Lebanon.
So Jewish.
I was thinking car bombs. Why are we so
Jewish car bombs? Got it.
fucking bagels everywhere?
Right.
What? Okay, so what's the one where we had the Black Hawk helicopter get shot down?
Was that down?
Yeah, not the movie, the place. Was that Benghazi?
Kabul? Or no, it was what was the other one that was like big time, like Kabul, and then there was another one like Fallujah.
So Fallujah sounds familiar. What's Benghazi?
I don't know. Sounds like a guy's name.
Fuck. What's Benghazi? Benghazi is the second most populous city in Libya. Okay, so Benghazi's in Libya.
Okay.
And didn't we just establish that
Libya was not?
No, that
Libya
was Lebanon.
Was not. Libya is like, I think Libya is in Africa. Have
So
they even created Africa yet?
Lebanon has bombed buildings, right?
Yes.
Got it.
It's all coming together.
So where was the Black Hawk shot down at?
I thought that was Fallujah,
Fuck.
which is in Iran or Iraq. I don't know, man.
Mogadishu, Somalia.
Africa.
Yeah, Mogadishu.
Right.
Operation Gothic Serpent.
Sounds tough. But that's nothing to do with the Bible.
I realized that when I got there. Where were we? Oh, yeah, Egypt. The descendants of Canaan, we did that, right?
Yep.
The chapter moves on to the descendants of Shem, who are associated with regions stretching from Mesha to Sephar. Fuck me. Like, it's just maps and names.
Names. This chapter sucks. Get back to the sex.
Now I got to look up that. There's no point. I don't want to just read words and not at least get something out of it.
Oh, I want to see Noah's dick again.
Okay, where was Mesha and Sephar? Oh, fucking words. Ophir and his brothers lived with two sons, Eber, their father Joktan, and their uncle Peleg. It sounds like a shitty joke.
Stupid
In
names.
Mashad Aran, at the time of the Tower of Babel, they separated there and departed, migrating to the east, to Sephar, or the land of the Garden of Eden.
Oh, wait. So did it say anything about Sephar when they were talking about the Garden of Eden?
No, they didn't name it yet. Like,
Oh.
they were the first people there. It's not like they put up a sign that said, "This is Sephar."
Just for anybody passing through. All right. So we're back to the Garden of Eden. Got it.
The text emphasizes that each of these family groups has its own language, territories, and nations.
Okay. That makes sense.
Does it?
Nope. Why? So, like, Noah wrecks his ship, gets off his ship, has all these kids. All those kids go out and speak their own languages? Like,
Yes. In
how?
summary, yes.
How?
Here, okay, I'm going to read this. This looks like the last. The chapter concludes by reiterating that these genealogies cover the nations that sprang from Noah's sons after the flood. So it's basically just saying, no, here's how all these people got here.
Right. And here's why they speak different languages.
No, we haven't got to that yet. I
Oh.
do know that's the Tower of Babel.
Okay. Okay. So, list of names complete.
Come back next week, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Oh, hopefully the next chapter is better. It has to be. It's got to be more salacious than a list of names.
So I did see a comment on somewhere about one of our episodes
Yeah.
where they asked us to jump around in the Bible
Yeah.
because apparently we're getting ready to hit a low point. Like the people that know this already know what we're in for.
Oh, okay.
But I really don't want to just skip around to the good parts.
Nope. Not interested. I would rather read through them. I don't think this is going to be the worst thing. It's, it's setting up the rest of the story. Sometimes you got to not look at dicks so that you can look at dicks later.
So, okay, if you look at it this way, that helicopter wouldn't have gotten shot down if it wasn't for them looking at their dad's dick.
Right. Right.
Support your soldiers or whatever you're supposed to say.
Right. Thank you.